Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Spitballing. I'm Matt Taylor here with my good buddy
Kyle Amundsen.
And it has been a couple of weeks since we got together, and I got to tell you, it seems like a fucking lifetime.
Oh, fucking forever, man. I always tell Matt, like, this is such a cathartic thing for me. I need this now.
Yeah.
And I told Rob earlier, there's stuff that I want to bring up, but and I can put it on Facebook, because I'm on all over Facebook. But for me, Facebook, Facebook is like caffeine now, whereas the podcast is like a big pile of cocaine. I really I find myself like a little out of sorts. Not it sounds like I have a cocaine problem. I don't have a problem with it. Do you have a problem with it? But I feel myself a little. I'm a little out of sorts if I don't get to, visit with y'all and get this shit off my chest.
Yeah, I totally agree. I felt like there was something missing this week, and I had an awesome time on Sunday. As most everybody knows.
You went to see that orangutan musician.
I went to see the orangutan musician. Excellent. Yeah, I went down to see Connor Oberst down at the Minnesota Zoo on Sunday with Meta, and it was just an absolutely fantastic show. So he's just an incredible musician. He's really personal, really political. It was just a lot of fun. It was interesting though, because he kind of went on a rant about Trump, and it was funny.
No, is he a huge supporter?
Yeah, obviously. And he goes on this huge rant about Trump, and I just realized that Minneapolis is like the Seattle of Minnesota, because everybody was just totally behind everything he was saying, and I was like, man, you can't say that shit just everywhere in Minnesota and leave the stage alive. But
right.
it was great. But super awesome show. It was a lot of fun. So yeah. So speaking of shows, we were talking a little bit before the podcast, and as often whenever Kyle and I get together, we start talking, and then it's like we realize that we really should shut up because it's just too good.
Yeah, and we're leaving you out of the conversation,
right?
Which we hate to do.
And you were talking about Lonesome Dove, which I have an interesting story before you start about Lonesome Dove. But I loved the miniseries Lonesome Dove back in the day, and I also started reading the books. And actually, I was reading Lonesome Dove while my first wife Wendy was pregnant with Logan. And it's a really weird thing, because it just kind of I can remember exactly that moment. And I mean, in the hospital while she's in her 24-hour labor, and I'm going to be reading over here. So
can you keep it down over there?
So you're recently watching the miniseries?
Well, I watch it every once in a while. I've probably watched it, I don't know, 5-6 times.
So we're talking about a show that's 27 years old or something like that.
Yeah. Actually, I ordered a shirt. I was thinking, oh man, I wore the wrong shirt. As much as I love my, I'm here for a good time, not a long time shirt. I ordered a shirt with a quote from that show on it, and it is one of my all-time favorite scenes from TV or film. It's brilliant. The two main characters in the show, the book, are Gus and Woodrow, and they're retired Texas Rangers, and they're leathery and tough and stuff. And Gus is fun and freewheeling. He's got him a womanizer. He loves gambling and shit. And Woodrow is a stiff, and he's they're kind of the odd couple.
Yes.
But they've been together forever. In the one scene, Ricky Schroeder's character, refuses to surrender his horse to this cavalry scout, and the guy starts whipping him and beating on him. And Woodrow, Tommy Lee Jones, comes up. First, they start the ass whooping off with a really cool horse stunt where he rides his horse into this guy's horse and bowls them over, And then he hops off his horse like really athletically and just begins to put this really vicious but judicious ass whooping on this guy. Just a beating. And he's just lost his shit. Well, spoiler alert, it's 27 years old. Fuck your spoiler. Newt, it turns out Newt is actually Woodrow's son. And he knows it, Gus knows it, but Newt doesn't know it. But yeah, he loses his shit, and he is going to kill this guy until Gus lassos him and pulls him off him and gets him to cool down a little bit. So Woodrow gets back on his horse and realizes that there's a crowd now, just watching him, just trying to figure out what they just saw. And he just looks at everybody and he says, "I hate rude behavior in a man. Won't tolerate it." And I'm like, that's the fucking greatest line ever. So I bought that shirt with his picture on there, and it says, "I hate rude behavior in a man. Won't tolerate it." And I'm just like, that's fucking great.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I love that shit. Yeah, so that's my shirt story for today.
That's good. Well, of course, as always, Meta chose my shirt. And it's getting scary because she keeps sending me pictures of shirts that she's considering. And one of them was a half baby tee thing. And I'm like, God, giving somebody power over your wardrobe is scary. But today I'm sporting the Lolah shirt. Of course, our guest today is Ron
Behrens.
Yeah, that's how you say it. Behrens. Behrens? I don't know how the fuck you say his name, but Ron.
That's
yeah,
Ron, man.
Ron from Lolah. So that'd be really cool to have him up today, and that's why I'm sporting the shirt. So, not speaking of rude behavior exactly, but something happened last night when I was working that I thought was pretty fucking funny. So last night I was working here at 9th Street, and it was pretty slow all night. So Aaron actually came up to see you and do some butt wiggling up there at Zorba's. So
those girls did have a great time.
I was here by myself, which was totally fine because it was Saturday nights, especially when it's nice out in the summertime downtown. It's pretty slow, but we did end up having kind of two groups in here. One was 4 people, and the other one was 6 people, and they kind of knew each other. But both of them were being pretty loud, and they were kind of the volume was going up and up and up. And the guy from the one group is he waves me over and he goes, "I'll totally pay for this, but I would like to buy that group a round of shots." And I said, "Okay, of course you'll pay for it." And he goes, "Yeah, but I just want to give them water." And I was like, okay, all right, I can see where you're going here. And he's like, "Yeah, I'll take one too." So I'm like, all right, cool. So I get out the tray and I make 6 water shots with a lime and everything, and we carry him over there, and I said, I'm not gonna say the guy's name, but Joe Shit the Ragman here, about to throw him shots for you. And you can see the entire group's face just because it's got the lime, and everybody's just like, "Oh fuck, I do not want to do a shot of tequila." But like troopers, they all grab their shot, and one guy sniffs it, and I could just see his face "Oh my God." And I came running back here, and I'm just watching. They're all watching. They all take their lime, and not a one of them sipped it or anything. They just all finally clinked the glasses and
knocked it back.
Got that horrid look on, "Oh, this is gonna suck." And they all take their shots, and their faces were just great. They were just yeah. And it was so funny. And then they were so happy that they didn't have to take a tequila shot that they were and then they bought they didn't buy shots, so they bought drinks for the other side. So everything came together. But it just cracked me up because I typically just say no. I typically don't do shots anymore. It just usually ends badly. But I just know that feeling oh my God, you're gonna make me do this disgusting thing, and
Absolutely.
I'm gonna pay the consequence for it. It's just not a nice thing to do to somebody.
And it's funny too because yeah, let's do some shots. And it's usually, and sometimes it's the indication of how far you are along in the night.
Of whether or not you're okay, let's do some shots. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, because it's yeah, absolutely. Seems like a great idea. It's early in the night. After a while, it's no, I don't want a fucking shot. and they turn into chores. It's fucking all labor.
So I'm like the complete opposite. Like I will never ever do a shot early in the night.
Really?
Never. You couldn't talk me into it for anything. But it's once I pass that threshold, and actually I say Matthias, he comes out, right? He's kind of like my drunken alter ego. And when Matthias is out, Matthias loves shots. And so I really have to cross that line. And then all of a sudden I'm like, fuck yeah, let's do some shots. Let's just make sure they're full of sugar and go give me a horrible hangover. Let's fucking do it. Like Rumpel Mints, yeah, I'm in. But yeah, you can't talk me into a shot sober or, 3 beers in. No fucking way.
Yeah, I actually do a lot of shots when I'm out drinking. Sometimes I do mostly shots when I'm out drinking, and the beer is just like something to hang on to or whatever.
Really?
Yeah, but I mean, that's, hey, I'm here for a good time. Not a long time. So, I mean, but unfortunately I don't drink that much anymore. So, I mean, it's not really a big issue, usually. But yeah, fuck. But yeah, like, but especially like when people are like, oh, let's do a shot of this. I'm like, you do a shot of what you want, man. I'll do a shot of what I want. Let's not try to gross each other out, like go at each other like that,
Right.
Fuck. That was a friend of mine, and I'd love to get her on the show sooner or later. She's brilliant. Had the lovely and brilliant Jessica Tupper in St. Paul. She works at the Capitol. Also studies jiu-jitsu.
Oh,
and she's great. But I hadn't seen her in years and years. And her and another friend that had been almost as long since I saw Sarah Eisen. These two, I hadn't seen them in so long, and they were coming up. And of course, my buddy Isaac, he came out too, and me and him proceeded to drink lots of Rumpelmints. And like the next day or a couple of days later or whatever it was, how long? Jessica's like, I was really impressed. You and your friend can really drink a lot of Rumpelmints. I'm like, yeah, I wasn't so impressed because I don't fucking remember a thing. Like, did we get caught up? Like, did I do anything stupid? Like, I was
right.
just. But yeah, fucking, well, nice. So nice to see you again. Bye bye. Click.
Right.
Over. I don't remember any of it.
I know you put a post on Facebook. It cracked me up the other day about if drunk me did something to offend you, you're gonna really have to.
You really need to take that up with drunk me.
Take up with drunk me.
Yeah, I would have. If you got a beef with me from when I was drunk, or if you got a beef with drunk me, you're gonna take that up with him. Because I have no idea. I've got no recollection of that shit.
Yeah. So. So next time Matthias comes out, I'll let everybody know so you can line up and talk to me with all about this stupid shit that I have had to write my fair share of apologies and and do that. But in my old age, I'm getting much mellower.
Me too, man. Me too. Well, I'm maybe I should just say that I'm kind of refining my process.
Well, there you go. So do you have anything else on your list you want to talk about before we get Ron on? I know we've talking about a few things, but a lot of it we're going to save for him. But what else you got going on?
Well, okay. This one isn't necessarily specific to people that work in the bar industry, but it's one that I thought of. Actually, I thought of it about 7:30 this morning, or 7:30 Saturday morning. So, when people that know me, know what I do for a living. And and typically understand that I work until about like in the summer, most nights, whatever. I work until about 3 o'clock in the morning. So I'm probably I'm probably in home. I'm probably in bed by like 3:30, 4 o'clock. And then but even though they know what my schedule is like and like what I've got going on, I get a lot of messages early in the morning, and is it bad that you get messages from your friends? Fuck no, I love these people. It's just there's like, there's always like a minute or two there, maybe a little longer, that that I forget that I love them, and I'm like, oh, I mean, no, like I said, it is nice that they're thinking of me. Like I've been asleep for like 3.5 hours or whatever. But goddamn well, like you're sitting there and you're thinking of me, like, that's sweet. Like, you know who would really love to see this video of this monkey jerking off? Kyle. Kyle loves that shit. You know, oh, thank you. You know, it means a lot to me. But sleep means a lot to me too, motherfucker. So, you know, please, if you got friends that work in this industry, you know, if they close the place down, fuck, you know, give them, you know, like, keep them in mind. Show them how much you care by keeping them in mind until like noon or 2 or some shit like that.
Like a reasonable hour. Why do you bring your phone into your bedroom and?
Man, so that people can get a hold of me if they actually need me. Besides seeing the monkey jerking off,
I can't think of a reason why anybody would need you.
Man,
enough for you to have to answer your fucking phone.
You know what? Like my parents are old. You know, my kids are young.
Yeah, but if your
wife,
parents die, you'll find out at noon, dude.
Oh man, you know,
I don't know. Yeah, I turn my notifications off.
Yeah, well,
hold on one
do
second.
Something with it,
so our guest is here. So we're gonna wrap right now. We're gonna come back and we're gonna talk to Ron, and we'll talk more about monkeys jerking off. So see you in just 1 second.
Or you'll see 3 of them doing it.
Perfect. One time I was out drinking one night, and it was fucking windy, and I was with a friend of mine, and she's not fat, but a little heavier than I am, obviously, because I'm fucking me. But the wind was blowing, and I fucking got behind her, and was like, and she says, "Are you fucking using me as a wind block?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm cold. I haven't eaten any carbohydrates." And she shoved me.
Oh my God.
And I went fucking fell in the snow and shit. And I was like,
fucking know your role.
I deserved it.
You know what happened to my last tauntaun?
Just like standing around the corner of a building.
If it gets too fucking cold, I'm gonna cut your ass open with this lightsaber.
Yeah, really.
True that. All right. Let's see. Man, frame. Yeah, I'm good enough. You want another water? You want to get another water before we start?
No, I'm good.
You good? All right. All right, everybody. Welcome back to Spitballing. I'm Matt Taylor here with my good buddy
Kyle Amundsen.
And today we have Ron Behrens in the house. How you doing, Ron?
What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. It's good to have you.
Yeah. Cool. I've been watching the thing, and it's like my pleasure to be here for sure. Yeah. I was like, oh my God, kick ass. They asked me to fucking come on there. Nice.
Well, I love that you're a fan. That's really awesome. Yeah. I was talking to Meta one day, and I was it was right after we had shot the one with PJ, and I went afterward. I was hungry, and I went over to YG's, and I was wearing my Meta shirt that she made me wear, and. That's a lie. She didn't actually make me wear it. Okay, I'm going to have to come. But anyway,
Such an asshole.
And I went over there, and apparently you were there eating.
Yeah.
And you wanted to come over and say hi.
I was going to, yeah.
And you didn't want to disturb me. And then you told Meta that.
Yep.
And I was like, oh. It made me feel really good that I had like a fan. It also made me feel good that, I was important enough to not interrupt. So.
Well, when somebody's eating, that's kind of a thing, I guess.
That's one thing, and that's commendable, because let's face it, like, nothing is like sacred anymore. I'm always, I always think about that. Of course, like, everything gets back to the bar industry and shit. But when I'm working, and I'm having a conversation with somebody, and it can be like straight up just like one-on-one. We can be totally locked in, completely engaged. That does not slow people down even just a fucking little bit,
Right.
People will just barge in,
The other day I went to Home Depot, and it was like early in the morning, and I just needed to get some shit, and I was wearing my little earbuds, and like I was just dialed in.
Yep.
And I'm walking through the self-checkout. I don't need to fucking talk to anybody, right? Like, I'll take my goddamn head, my earbuds out if I want to talk to you. And one of the guys like walks up to me and is like one of the employees, and grabs me and took my earbuds out. I'm like, what the fuck, man? And he's like, what's up with your tattoos? And I have these weird stripes on my arm, which I've had to explain.
Is it that fucking mind-boggling?
4 million times to like whatever. And it's like,
Where they grab you and do it?
Yeah, yeah, man.
kinda weird.
It's like being pregnant for a woman. Like if you have tattoos, I mean, people just feel like, oh, geez, that's so. You know, but I was like, I'm like, they're fucking stripes, man. Like,
Yeah.
it's 6:30. Back the fuck off. You know what I mean?
You're kind of in my space for 11:30, fuckface.
Yeah.
Right. Yes.
Shit.
But Ron was not like that. He was very polite. Didn't even interrupt me. So I appreciate that. But I also appreciate that you watched the show. So the reason that I decided to invite you on the show was because I went and seen the big School of Rock concert at the Tornstrom Auditorium.
Did you went and seen it, or did you?
Seen
grammar
a done seen it?
Nazi. A fucking.
I'm sorry.
Now I get the haircut. Now I understand the haircut. So I went to this show at the Tornstrom Auditorium.
I was actually asking, like, it was a legitimate question. Like, I'm not that
You
up
were
on my
grammar Naziing me, you
No,
son of a
I was
bitch.
grammar questioning.
Fuck off. So I went to the show, and it was at Tornstrom Auditorium. Now I am self-conscious of everything I say.
It's not
And
my fault. Your English is shitty.
I didn't know anything about
I'll
it.
help you.
I didn't know anything about it. Meta sent me a link to it. She said, hey, this might be fun. I go every year. Love it. And I was like, what the fuck? School of Rock. Good show. Loved it.
Right.
Tenacious D. They're the best. Bunch of kids. $10. I'm in, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Go over there. Was absolutely fucking blown away. Right? Was absolutely blown away. Will you explain to Kyle, the very confused one over there?
I feel like I'm missing out now.
You are.
Yeah.
You
okay.
did.
See, I'm the Jack Black of the whole fucking thing.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah. But no.
Come on, Neil. Turn on your heart light.
Yeah. It's just this thing that this guy, Mark Munson, he was like a chiropractor around in the Brainerd area and really passionate dude about music. And he got cancer and like terminal, and he knew he was not going to make it, and he wanted to do something, you know, like a legacy kind of thing, you know, or whatever, and leave something. And he, especially for kids, so he thought, you know, he saw that same movie, the School of Rock deal or whatever, and he was kind of like, I think I want to try and do that. And then he found out that they were doing it in St. Cloud, so they went and he watched it, and it was like, holy shit, they do this. It's for real fucking thing, kick ass. So then he talked to them and about how they did it and everything else, and then that was it. I was looking through Craigslist for just guitars and shit, and I always do, and went on the musicians kind of thing, and I saw that it said School of Rock instructors wanted. And I was like, what the fuck is this? And then it was real. I was like, holy shit, this is fucking cool. In Brainerd? All right, well, fuck, I got to check it out. And got a hold of him, and he was just a super cool dude. And he was like, yeah, he said, just come and, you know, you got to pass the, you know, background check and all that. Oh, all right, cool. I haven't pedoed anybody, you know. So yeah, it was pretty awesome. And then so that's the thing, they just get a bunch of kids, and
what a great what a great idea. I mean, and what a great legacy to, you know, if you want to leave something behind, fuck, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So how long ago did he start this?
This was the third year.
Okay.
The first 2 years were called School of Rock, and now it's called, because of legal shit, you know, it's now Mark Munson's Rock Music Camp.
Okay. And then it is a camp.
Yep.
So that you get kids.
I mean, we don't camp there or nothing, but
Okay.
you go for, it's 2 weeks long. It's only 3 days a week and only 4 hours a day.
Okay.
I mean, that's the crazy part to me. It's like, okay, you've got 6 days, and really only 5, because the 6th day is the day of the concert. So it's like they've got 5 days that are only 4 hours long to learn 2 songs. And these kids, you know, some of them only been playing for like, you know, they're young, so they've only been playing for like a year.
Man, that
Yeah, and some of them
is a
don't
lot
even
of
like
time,
really
is it?
know how you're like, they're learning their parts. and-
Yeah. And then they'll pick crazy ass songs, like whatever. Like last year, somebody, I think it was last year, or the year. It was last year, I believe. Maybe, I don't know. Either way, they picked. Somebody was like, "Oh yeah, my band's gonna do Carry On My Wayward Son." I was like, "What the?" I've been in bands that I've brought it up. I mean, with the guys who've been playing for like 20, 30 fucking years. I'm like, "Hey, it'd be cool. I think we could do it." And they're like, "You want to do that song? Did you ever hear the harmonies? Did you ever hear them? You know?" And these kids did it in 5 fucking days. Did it?
Yeah.
We're gonna do Rush songs this year.
Right.
Fuck you, I'm out.
Exactly. I quit. I did.
And then where do you guys like do the camp at?
The past 3 years, they've done it at the I think it's First Lutheran Church.
Okay,
I believe
some
it is.
church in town. Okay.
Yeah. They let us use their space, and they've got a bunch of rooms and stuff. Like the first year it was you know, it's cool that they let you use it, but it was like there was no air conditioning. And it's like right in midsummer and just
School of sweaty kids.
Oh my God, exactly. They had to sit in there and deal with old man smell, you know. It was just, it was not cool. But whatever. And I had a kid who was just, he like had maybe like ADHD or something. I don't know. But he definitely was like shitload of energy. And we're in this tiny, tiny fucking room. And we're just packed in there. Finally, because he was just so wound up all the time, I just was like, there was an exit sign above the door, and I was like, "Hey," I said, "can you hit that thing?" And he goes, "I don't know, let me see." He jumps up and he hits it, and I was like, "Cool." I was like, "See how many times you can do it." So I just let him go over there for a while the rest of us were working on our shit, and he's over there jumping. Finally, he was like, "Oh."
Is he a drummer?
No, he was actually the singer.
Oh.
But I get where you're coming from, because drummers are generally like that. He was a nut job, though. He was cooler than shit, but I mean, he was just, it was so funny that when we did some Go-Go's song and then Moni Moni, and we were doing the intro to Moni Moni, and I luckily got to play with the kids too, so whatever, we're sitting there doing the ding 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 ding, and then he's supposed to come in with the, you know, "Here she come now, Sir Moon," you know, whatever, and so he's standing there, but he's like just grooving on it. He's just he's got his mic and he's just fucking dancing, and his eyes are closed, and we're just going, and it's already like the time he should have came in, but he didn't, and we're just still just kind of going, and he's just, and then finally after like seriously like about a half a minute of doing this intro, I just stopped and I was like, "Okay, Jim Morrison, what the fuck?" Like, he was totally in his own world. But it's super cool watching these kids, though.
And they're all ages. I mean, where do the kids come from?
All over the place. I mean, we've got kids from Aiken. We had kids from Colorado.
And like,
What? Really?
Yeah.
does it cost them money?
Yeah, it's like 200 and, gosh, I wish I knew exactly. I think $230.
Whatever. We're experts on nothing.
Yeah,
Right.
right.
We
I
can,
know. I don't
we
know
can't be
any of that
legally
shit.
held accountable for anything we say.
Cool.
Yeah,
Kick
I'm not
ass.
even an expert on the shit that that I've done. So,
Right.
you know,
Oh yeah, me neither.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be giving you false shit all day long.
Perfect. Fit right
I'm
in.
just lying about all this.
Why?
There isn't even a school of rock.
That's why we call it
It'd be a lot
spitballing,
cooler if
baby.
there was.
Yeah, it'd be really kick ass if there was, though, wouldn't it? Yeah.
So it's relatively cheap, costs a couple $100. They come there,
Yeah.
they learn these songs. They each learn 2 songs.
Yeah, they can get scholarships
Oh.
through us, so that's cool. They just, if they haven't got, if they can pay $50, if they can't pay anything, we can generally cover them if they want to do it. They've got to have some knowledge of their instrument.
Okay.
We don't teach them how to play.
Okay.
So they've got to, and then
You're teaching them the song, not the instrument.
we're teaching them how a band puts shit together to be a band.
Okay,
And
yeah.
because a lot of them have never been in a band, and there's like a lot of shit you got to work out, and then like kind of things we talk about, like, okay, you could do this when you're doing it to look like you're rocking out a little bit, and it's kind of hard for them because they're so worried about playing what they're playing right instead of putting on a visual show. But you kind of want, you know, when that's really what we're supposed to be doing, is teaching them how to be a rock band, in front of a bunch of people.
You did, like, from a perspective of somebody sitting in the audience. That was the difference between going to this thing and going to fucking like band concerts.
Sure.
That from when my kid's in band and like or in choir, and you're watching a choir concert and everybody's standing up. These kids didn't just play songs; they fucking rocked out, and it was great. They dressed up. The one that got me the most, I could not. I mean, almost pissed my pants. I was laughing so hard, but it was this tiny little kid. I have no idea how old he was. He could have been 30, but he's just a little tiny kid, and he's dressed to the nines in a suit, and he's playing the keyboard, and I mean, it's 2 fingers, dude, and he's just playing, and then he stops, spins, and goes right back to playing, and I was like,
I know the dude.
I was just freaking out. It was fucking awesome. It was
it's
just
my man
great.
Sony. Yeah, he's kick ass. He was awesome. He had so much like positive energy in the whole thing. Like, he'd come up and talk to you, and I felt like, in a weird way, like, because a lot of kids, and I don't know why, but a lot of them at first are kind of like skeptical of me. I don't know what the deal is, but they're like, until I talk to them, and then they're like, oh, okay, this dude's cool and goofy. But he wasn't at all. He was just like, hi, how are you? And blah, blah, blah. And just, I don't even know. But he was just lovable.
And then even like when he came out on stage, the first time he came out, and he just went right to the front of the stage and sat down and like crossed his legs and just looked at the audience. It was just like, it's fucking rock star in the making right there, man.
Right.
It was great.
That's great.
But I thought that the music was great. I thought some of their music choices were really challenging. You know, the opening, the very first one that came out, they did a fucking Bruce Springsteen song.
That was
not an easy song.
Yeah, that's
and
the whatever you call it,
student instructors.
Yep.
And it was, but they just killed it. So that was the next question I had for you, is like, who are the instructors? Like, how do you become an instructor? And like, and what if somebody out there who's got some talent wants to contribute? What can they do?
I would talk to Lisa at the Crossing Arts Alliance.
Okay.
They're kind of the people. The Crossing Arts Alliance are the ones who really helped get this whole thing together more. I mean, it was Mark's idea and it was his vision, but then he got, in with them because, they just know more shit about getting grants and all that other crap that it's like,
Because I don't know, but most musicians, most people who play bands, they're also like usually like really good accountants and also like really good at.
They are
super organized.
Oh yeah.
But you don't have that experience.
Well, I mean, I am. The other guys, they're a
you're
bunch
a
of fucking
CPA
doofuses,
as well.
man. I mean, Jesus.
So,
I can't even stand watching them fucking walk around. They're like, how do you do that with that brain?
That reminds me of I mentioned Rush earlier.
Just kidding, Chode.
I was watching a documentary on Rush, and they were talking to like guys from other bands that they toured with over the years.
Yeah.
And they're like, these fucking guys don't even party. Like, they're just so fucking boring. They're like so Canadian.
that's the only. So I've only been to like one concert in my whole life, and that wasn't last Sunday. Like that, I mean, there was 1,100 people there at the Sioux. It was super cool, but that's not really a concert.
Right.
But the only concert I ever went to, I was like 19 years old, and I went to Rush at the Target Center or whatever it was. And I mean, it was just packed, and their laser show and everything like that. And I had never listened to a Rush song before that time. I mean, I just didn't know.
Yeah.
I was completely. And I was like, "What the fuck is this?" It was like, it was transcending. But then I became a big fan after that.
Well, that's a band that took me a while to appreciate because I couldn't like the vocals were a little, like
Geddy Lee's got that kind of high nasally voice.
Yeah, when I was a little metalhead, like it was. I didn't appreciate it much. I'm like, I didn't like his voice and shit. But then like after you listen, you hear the songs and you hear the songs and you hear the songs, and you're like, fuck, are you guys just impressive and amazing, and the lyrics are like so grown up, and they tackle, like I'm just,
lyrically, they're probably one of the
it's
best.
so weird.
bands out
Neil
there.
Peart is the guy who writes all the lyrics, the drummer.
Yeah.
Oh, I meant Geddy Lee. Did I say Neil Peart?
Yeah, Geddy Lee, you got
Yeah.
it right.
Oh, I said it
Geddy
right.
Lee
Yeah.
sings and plays
Like
bass.
Geddy Lee sings, yeah. And yeah, that was the same thing with me though. I was kind of like, his high pitched thing and whatever, and it was kind of like, and they looked fucking weirder and shit too. You saw them with their skin tight pants and flare fucking things, and hey, that's his fucking dick right there. You can see it plain as day. I'm like, what the fuck? Those people in the 70s were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those guys were killer. Did you watch that documentary you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I watched that too.
Oh, that's super good.
Yeah. And like some of the choices that they made, like artistically, like going against like their label, like because that was back in the day when the label had so much power and was like, you're gonna do this, and they were like, yeah, no, we're not.
Yeah, but they they hang on to their integrity and such smart songs, and like and just I was actually the Kemkas. It was Nathan and his family and stuff. His dad Neil has a amazing music collection, but that's where I first kind of got exposed to that band and learned to love them. Yeah, shit. Like, and I still like. It's nobody else's favorite song, his favorite Rush song, but Nobody's Hero. What a fucking great song.
I actually, when my first wedding, I walked out our marching song, or whatever the song you walked on out to was is it called? I think the song's called "State of Grace." But I don't believe in destiny or the guiding hand of fate.
Right.
I don't believe in forever or love as a mystical state. I don't believe in the stars of the planets or angels watching from above.
Yeah.
Ghost of a Chance. That's what the song's called.
That's right. Yeah,
But I believe there's a ghost of a chance you can find someone to look. Actually, you know what? I think the song might be called "State of Grace," though.
I think so.
Regardless.
Or is that the album?
Yeah, fuck. You know
I can't
what?
remember. I don't know.
Not an expert. We're
me
spitballing.
neither. Not at all.
Yes.
I mean, I
out there.
really love Rush. I mean, I really love a lot of bands, but I don't know a lot of shit. People are like, "Well, what's your favorite song on that album?" And blah blah blah. And I'm like, "Fuck, what songs are on that album?"
Well, I mean, there's you don't have to you don't have to obsess over a band and shit, and just to be you don't have to be a fanboy to be a fan. You know?
Oh, I just saw this thing. It was super hilarious. This guy he was going around to this like metal concert. It must have been a metal show or something, and he was videotaping everybody. And he had asked them to give him 3 songs by the band that they had on their shirt, and like hardly any of them could do it. Some were like, they just didn't know it all. And I was thinking about, I was like, man, I'd probably be some of my shirts. I'd be like, yeah, I don't. There's that one. It says something about dragons or something.
Well, and for me, like that would be horrible because like I forget my own fucking name when I'm put on the spot.
Right.
I can recall shit like randomly. Like just sitting here. But if somebody asks me a question, like I go instantly. Well, no, it's not that it's a far trip or anything, but I go instantly stupid, and I can't remember shit. Like. That's ridiculous. But.
Okay, I just want to finish up about this incredible band camp. I was gonna make a band camp joke, and it's like you can't even say band camp anymore without like fluting the pussy. But so
thanks for nothing,
about
American
the
Pie.
School of Rock. If anybody wants to get involved, they should talk to the Crossing Arts Alliance. Lisa at the Crossing Arts Alliance. Who I know you and Chad. Both teach there. Chad is your
partner
your
in crime.
bromance.
We play in a band together.
Right.
No, yeah, we're pretty good pals. You get to be good friends with somebody when you play in a band together.
Right.
You guys. But yeah, there's a few other. I don't even know. Just some other local musicians that they're all really good dudes. They're super nice guys, and that's the other cool thing is like they're all just incredibly nice dudes and super fun to hang out with. Nobody's like a downer at all. It's just super good environment, and it's crazy. And that was one other thing that I wanted to say about it is it's not just the music thing too. Like the very first year, and this has happened every year since, but the first year, the thing that kind of got me in a weird way and like really was like, oh fuck, this is what this is about, was there was this one girl, and everybody, it was the first day, and all the kids, it was like they were already kind of gelling. You know, they were all like, they didn't know each other, but they were all kind of playing around. We had at the church that they had foosball and a pool table and stuff in the area where we all just kind of hung out. And so all the kids were all, you know, talking with each other and sitting around and doing shit. And then I noticed this one girl, and she was just kind of a, you know, I don't know, just a little bit on the heavier side, and she had glasses, and she just kind of seemed real super shy, and she was like hiding behind all the adults. It was like she wasn't even by any of the kids. She was always standing by the adults and kind of standing behind them, and I was like, man, that poor girl, you know, this is going to be, I don't know how this is going to go for her in a weird way. But then by the end, it was just ridiculous. It was like watching her with two other girls arm in arm, and they were all laughing super hard and walking together, and I was just like, you know, and they were just having you know, they're so much fun and just pals, and like before, remembering how shy she was and shit like that. And she was the song that she did was like she was doing Chili Peppers song and like rapping out this kind of thing, and I was like, wow, what a transformation. I was like, this is the deal. That's what this is about.
I think that's something that playing music with people. I'm not a musician. I don't even play one on a podcast, but I'm pretty passionate about music, and I've just known so many musicians through the years, and they're my favorite people. And there's something about just like my favorite memories throughout the years of the restaurant and the bars and everything has been having like musicians back at my house and sitting around my living room and playing songs and that kind of thing, and just how there's something fucking magical about people playing music intimately. There's something cool about doing it on a stage, but also playing it intimately. And like, I think that's like once you play a song with somebody, like there is a camaraderie that you get out of it. So I can see that that's super important for these kids. I would think.
In the socialize, you know, the social setting and the socializing, you know, for the kids and stuff, you know, that's important too. And I think like one thing that used to surprise me, does not surprise me anymore. Hang out with musicians enough, and you find some interesting and often some kind of socially awkward, like you can see somebody on stage and they might seem perfectly comfortable up there in front of all these people, and you're like, how do they do that? And then meet them in like meet them in a one-on-one type setting, and you're like, holy shit, you're really awkward. Like you're not a very, like socially you're fucking inept, but like you're a god in front of all these fucking people, you know?
Right.
And it seems kind of common with, you know, with a lot of musicians. Yep. And that used to really blow my mind. I could not, you know, but I'm like, oh shit, you know.
There's lots of dudes that I've met like that, and some of my favorite bands, it's like even when they're on stage, they seem like super funny and
confident.
Yeah, and like, oh my god, I know that him and I are gonna get along super good, and it's gonna be so cool when I meet him after this show and stuff like that. And then it's like, hey dude, what's up? You know, and he seemed happy, and also he's like, you know, what's happening? You know, all right, I gotta go do this shit. It's like,
which I'm sure comes off as like aloof, you know, or unfriendly a lot of times. But a lot of times I think it's just awkward.
But I mean, I totally like can relate to that just in this little way in my life. But like I am not great in social situations. Yeah. I get anxiety when I'm around a group of people, and like especially people I don't know and don't control. So like it gets weird for me. Yet like I have no problem going on stage and like making bad jokes in front of people. Or being behind the bar. It could be super busy, whatever. But I have this like I'm in control. I have this barrier. I have this buffer, and like I can be articulate and confident and everything. Get on the other side of the bar and like people around me, and I'm like, God, get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? So like I can get that. I get that. Like people are, you know.
I think I'm the opposite.
The setting is very important. Yes, you are. I mean, you are a social butterfly. There's no two ways about it.
Yeah, like I can jump in there and swim around. I'm doing laps and shit. But then like, you know, like I'm not, you know, on stage, or it took me a while to get comfortable, like just in front of the camera when it was just us sitting here, you know, like it. Yeah,
but it's not just us. It's all 43 of you people as well. Yeah. But we love you. We love you. Awesome. Okay, so
hard. Love you so hard.
Anything else we want to talk about as far as the School of Rock goes?
I do have one question.
Yeah.
So are these do these kids like come back year after year, or
A lot of them do. Yeah. This year there was quite a few new ones. I think last year, I can't remember exactly, we had like 20, maybe 20 some kids, and then this year we had like 36 or something crazy, and it was just like, holy crap, we got way more bands. And we were kind of thinking in a weird way, it was like, oh no, I wonder if we have too many instructors. I mean, it just felt like that, like a lot of us were kind of doubled up on bands, and I don't know, but then all of a sudden when we had this many kids, it was like, cool, I'm glad we're, but yeah, there's a lot of kids that come, and that's the other thing, is you try to like make it so that they're not in the same bands as they were with other people before, just so that they can,
spread their wings a little bit.
Well, and I thought you guys did a fantastic job at the show of weaving instructors in when they're necessary, but not ever stealing the show from the kids. It's not like, oh, here's these instructors playing a song, and here's the kids with the tambourine doing ooh ah ah. Nothing like that.
Yeah.
It's all kids with a couple of instructors.
Yeah.
Maybe Chad's playing the guitar solo
Yeah.
that's a little outside of their ability, but that's not the show. Like the guitar solo isn't the song.
Right.
That's just the one little piece of the song that might be a little bit outside of, and not in all cases. Some of the kids played some solos.
Oh yeah, and they did them good.
I was fucking blown away. It's one of the better shows I've been to in a long time.
Man,
it was
really,
fantastic.
It's really
I was
like
like,
I missed out.
if I wish this was at a bar and I could drink, and then it would have been a fucking perfect show.
Oh,
which seems
that would
like it
be-
would have totally made sense because they were children, and you should definitely get drunk while watching children.
Yeah, well, that's the
I
thing.
recommend it. Let them like. Well, that's what I was going to say. Like,
Entertain me.
these kids, like,
what?
Dance, monkey, dance.
some of the kids don't come back, because they graduate to their own like real bands and stuff, and then graduate to rehab and stuff like that. But
But it really was good. Super fun. I absolutely recommend it. Oh, I was also going to mention before the last song. The last song was everybody. They had everybody come out and play. But before the last song, all the instructors came out and played a song, and Chad talked about Mark.
Yeah.
And whatever, and then you
Still
guys
gets me, man.
and then broke into
Wish you were here.
I Wish You Were Here.
oh,
I don't know that there are that many dry eyes in the house, dude. And plus, how many musicians were playing in 12? I mean, it was a shit pile.
Yeah.
Of all pretty fucking talented guys playing "Wish You Were Here," and it was emotionally moving. And
I heard it sounded good. I mean,
yeah, it sounded good, and it was great, and it was touching. So.
It had me though. I mean, I had like my eye was just all soaking wet over here. I was like, hey, what's that? After I was done.
Yeah. Well, I was weeping openly, but.
Yeah.
But as most of
as
you
you
know,
always are.
I weep openly often. Yeah, it was great.
Same.
Me too. I'm a big
Yeah.
crybaby.
Some kid wins a race on TV, and I'm like, oh my god, that was awesome.
I'm so pathetic like that. I'm like, what's better? What's the matter, Kyle? That fucking commercial just got me.
Yeah.
I may
It's
have-
Kool-Aid.
I may have
This is so good.
said this already, but
Oh, yeah.
like I was when I went to the last Avengers movie,
Yeah.
Endgames, with Peyton, and at the end of it, I'm a fucking blubbering mess, and Peyton he's 17. He's like, Dad, do you fucking cry at every movie? And I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't you fuck off, you little shit? And he's just like, but I'm like, your eyes ain't all that dry. And he's like, yeah, it kind of got me a little bit. It's like, yeah.
I'm always at my house. The way it's kind of set up, there's not much room. It's pretty small, but it's always my wife and my two youngest daughters sitting there in the couches and chair, and then I'm always for whatever reason I'm always probably playing poker though online. I do that shit a lot. But anyways, I'm sitting up at the table and we're all watching movies together, and every time like a tearjerker. I mean, none of them cry at any. Olivia every now and then, but then It's so funny. All of them, like, especially if they're like behind the one couch that's like where I can't even see their heads. All of a sudden, their heads will lift up, and look back at me. See, yep, Dad's back there crying again.
Thanks for emasculating me. Go ahead and watch the show. Turn around. That's right. Turn around, damn it.
Bunch of girls making fun of old Dad crying back there. Yep, that's the way it is too.
That's awesome. Well, yeah. So I definitely want to recommend everybody check it out before the show next year, because Kyle and I are going to be doing this until like the grave. We're going to pump that show up, and we are going to get a pile of people there because it is definitely something worth covering. So,
Super fun.
for sure.
Ooh. Speaking of stuff that we're, trying to help get the word out on, I suppose we should give another mention to Walk a Mile in Her Shoes.
Absolutely.
Which is taking place August 24th, Saturday, August 24th. Starts at 10:30. The walk itself is at 11:30, I believe.
Well, I have notes, so. Yeah.
I had, I was struggling to find info on that. Ron was actually the first person that got a hold of me after that podcast and got me a phone number. Before I could even get a hold of her, she got a hold of Seth.
Oh.
And like before, and I was like, wow, that was fast, awesome. So thank you, and
it really does show that there's some power in podcasting. Like, we wanted to get involved in that, or really Kyle did. I didn't know much about it, but Kyle wanted to get involved in it. Was kind of struggling, not getting the right contact information, and then he bitched about it on the show, and next thing you know, bam, we're like, we have all the information we need, and we have since launched some challenges and some teams of places that are going to be participating,
which is awesome because so far let's see, we started out with 9th Street, Zorbazon Gull, Ernie's, and Essie's were the 4 bars that committed that are participating in it, and now we're up to those same 4.
Well, we also did pick up.
So fuck you guys.
We also did pick up, and though it's not a bar, but one of my good buddies, Daniel Zellwinger. That's probably not how you say his name. That's how I say his name because it's what it looks like when you spell it. But I don't know what Daniel's last name is.
And he's married to Renee Zellwinger. No. Okay.
Zellwing. I don't know how you say his last name. Daniel. Anyway, he's one of the. He's a brown belt in jiu-jitsu down in St. Cloud. Trains with Brock.
Then I'm going to stop making fun of his name right now.
Yeah, you ought to. We're actually going to have him on the show at some point here. But you had mentioned to Brock about going, and he had mentioned it to Daniel that he was pissed off that he couldn't make it that day. Daniel's like, well, I'll fucking get a team together and bring him up there. He contacted me, got some guys from Brainerd doing it. So we got a bunch of guys from the gym from Star PJJ that are going to come up and do it too, and I think that's just great. Daniel's super awesome guy. He's also married to a woman named Tamika, who is, I think, pound for pound, the toughest human being I've ever met. She only weighs like maybe 108 pounds, and like I'm afraid of her. I'm like, legitimately, she's choked me unconscious on occasions. Yeah, so tough. Anyway, so that's cool. So we got a bunch of guys from the gym that are going to be doing it too. So
excellent.
It's great. The 9th Street team is going to be the best team. That's what I'm on. But we got a lot of people. A couple of things that I wanted to mention that I didn't know. First of all, it is a men's march against to help or to stop rape, sexual assault, and gender violence. But it's not just for men. I didn't know that. I was like, I figured it was just for men because it says it's a men's march. But it's for everybody.
Yeah,
kids,
it's open to everybody.
Women, everybody. I was reading in the FAQ that we're the only ones who have to wear uncomfortable shoes. And that sounds like fucking bullshit. Right?
Right.
Like, we have to wear uncomfortable shoes, but if a woman wants to walk, she can just walk in tennis shoes. Okay, fine, whatever. I'm still going to win. I've been training every day. I've been putting 1 mile on in those high heels, and I'm going to win that race.
I think if it's a woman and she hasn't had to ever deal with domestic violence, maybe she should wear those uncomfortable shoes just because. I mean, come on.
Yeah, but then you'd be out and everybody in flats.
Yeah,
You'd be like,
yeah. Well, then you go and put them on your shoulder and fucking walk with them.
But it's
solid.
Yeah, I did it once before. It's a great event. It's really fun. And so important. If you've got a wife, a daughter, a mother, a sister, then this is something you should be able to get behind. And of course, if any of those are, if any, like two of those are one person, make America great again. It's a really, it's an important, it's a great cause. And it is really fun. There'll be a lot of great people there. It'll be wonderful. Hope you join us there.
So
and it's not about us, but I mean,
it's totally about
I say
us.
Join us, but I mean, like, we're, it's
just
us. Yeah.
You can still register online. August 1st was the deadline to get the free T-shirt. So you don't get the free T-shirt, but it's a fucking T-shirt. If you are going to be representing one of the bars or gym in this case, you probably want to wear
your brand,
wear
right?
Their
Colors,
brand,
man.
But it's easy to register. You go to walkamilebrainerdbaxter.com. So it's walkamilebrainerdbaxter.com, and you just click on register, and you can do it right there. There was a little glitch in their system, and it wouldn't let you register on like a couple of days there. But they got that figured out. So
yeah, and Marianne was wonderful. She got a whole, we talked, we exchanged a couple of email addresses, answered all my questions, and we are excited and ready to rock and roll.
And again, it's on August 24th, Saturday. Registration is at 10:30. The march actually is at noon, but you want to be there a little before that. There's like a silent auction, some other shit like that.
There's all kinds of stuff.
Yep, talking to your microphone.
There's all kinds of stuff going on there. It's super fun. It's like a bunch of people, and I've been to a few of them.
Yeah.
My wife kind of runs the women's shelter, so.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, so I've kind of hung out there a few times.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're excited about it. Get a bunch of dudes
for
out
sure.
there doing it.
Yeah, it's a good time.
Awesome. Okay. Anything else on that subject?
No.
Okay.
I'm good.
Well, I wanted to talk about the legendary rock band in the area, Lolah.
Oh.
So that's another thing that you do, right?
Well, hey, I like your shirt, man. By the way, did you see
I am
that
rocking the Lolah shirt.
I know we've had them, and now we've sold out. I've got two left.
You can buy this one for $75.
Yeah, I got two XLs if anybody wants an XL. But I was like, I wonder how long it's gonna if we're gonna get a cease and desist on this shit at all, because it looks an awful lot like Yag.
Oh, I didn't even look at the shirt.
Yeah,
Yeah, you totally ripped off Yag.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I thought it was cool. I like that Jägermeister thing, and I was like, hey, I think I can do something with that. Yeah, no, Lolah. We're just a cover band from there. We've been playing around. Chad Frank is the main dude of the thing. It was his, and I don't even know how long he's had Lolah. Probably maybe 15 years or something.
I remember going and watching him at the Blue Ox back in the day. So, it's been quite a long time.
Yeah.
And many of you might not know Chad as Chad. A lot of people call him Chode, and he refers to himself that way. So.
Yep. If you ever heard anybody say that Chode guy, Chode, that's the guy. That's who it is. He's been around.
Or if you hear anyone just mentioning the Chode, they're talking about him.
Yeah. Yep. Just
and where do you guys play
tuna
at?
can of a guy. Tuna can of a.
He's great. Very distinct voice. He does voiceover work. He's been on the radio and stuff.
You've heard him. Everybody's heard him. He's got national ads doing voiceover shit, so everybody's heard him.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
He's got a great voice.
He's total radio voice, dude. He's one of those guys when you talk to him in person, it's like, okay, you sound just like a fucking radio guy.
He's got a funny ass face
and an all-around great dude.
He's got a funny ass face.
He does. He has the craziest facial expressions. And on the last episode, we played the little song that Meta put together for me of "First Day of My Life" by Bright Eyes, and a bunch of people contributed little parts. Yeah, including Ron.
Very little part.
But Chode sang a little part, and his eye is all flipping around. And I'm just like, he just kills me. I just laugh my ass off when I see him.
It grosses me out.
Yeah, well, I'm not saying it's pretty. It's like crazy.
He does it all the time too. It's just,
Whenever I see you guys together, I love all of your rock antics.
Yeah.
I was actually just telling Kyle before this that one of my favorite parts of the concert at Tornstrom or whatever was the kids were out and they started playing songs and you two look at each other and it's like it's on, and you both like get the rock stance, but then you don't play because they're playing and you both are holding this crazy like straddled rock stance, just ready to like play your 5 notes, and it just kills me. It's very Tenacious D of you. You guys have this D vibe going on.
That's cool, and that is one of those things with that School Rock. To back about that, but it's Lola too, is that we're so used to playing together, and we're so used to like, we'll look at each other and we'll just do goofy ass shit all the time when we're on stage, just because you don't. I mean, we have a good time, and we never probably really get bored playing songs, but after you do them up. This is like the 150th fucking time I played this song. You start looking for, just something to entertain yourselves up on stage. So we just do dumb shit.
Nothing wrong with adding fun to it, like don't leave any fun on the table. Like have all the fun.
Oh God.
And the thing is like, and you said just a cover band, and I wanted to like, I don't know, take issue with that because like I think that. Like, there's a lot of people who give cover bands a lot of crap.
Yeah.
All
like, the time,
just like, well, you're just a cover band.
Right,
You're not really a musician.
Yeah.
Well, okay, what fucking instruments do you play, asshole? I mean, now if you are an amazing, original musician, good for you, But like, it's fun to go see live music at a bar, and sometimes you just want to go see a cover band.
Sometimes it's nice to hear music that and there's a lot of great music out there. And guess what? Sometimes other people have already sang that music before,
right?
So,
but
we do a lot of songs though too. That's what I like about Lola is we don't do all the normal songs that fucking like every other cover band around in the area does. I mean, you're not gonna catch us doing like Sharp Dressed Man and all that shit that every other fucking band does. I mean, and they're good songs, and I love ZZ Top like no other. I mean, they're so good, but. We just do different stuff that you just don't really hear other people do. I mean, and it's funner that way. I don't know.
Right. You're not going to even correct him on that? He
More
just said
fun.
funner. Right?
Oh,
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on, Kyle.
Sorry,
Stay on top of that shit.
Is that, I don't know, is that like funner, more fun, funner?
It's more fun that way.
Anyway, yes, it is fun. But also, I think what makes it fun is the energy of the guys playing it. Because you can go and watch a cover band and be like, I've never been so bored in my life.
Right.
Because like, why wouldn't I just turned on the radio? KLIZ plays the exact same thing.
And
But
just close my eyes and sit here and.
But if you watch a couple of guys that are up there on stage really having fun and being goofy and playing cool songs, fun songs, but even if they were playing Sharp Dressed Man, but they were having fun with it, it would make a big difference.
Yeah, the presence and the personality and stuff, which I think is one of the things that it sounds like you guys try to get across doing, the school thing.
Yep.
Like the presence and the personality and stuff, they make the performance. I mean, yes, the music should be good, but I mean, it's a show.
Yeah. Right.
There's more to the show than
Right.
just the music.
And that was the part that I keep trying to get to, but I keep forgetting or not getting there, get distracted. But when we're doing that School of Rock thing, it's always like we remind each other, okay, just kind of dial it back from our normal thing, because we don't want to be like our normal thing was we're right on the edge of the stage, and
Because you want them to take front stage.
yeah. So it's
Right.
kind of like, okay, this is about the kids now. It's not about us. And
But I and you guys did a fantastic job with that throughout the show. Like I said, you weren't taking, but there was just, and it was right toward the end. But it was just, I just, there was the only time actually that two of you were on stage together that I can think of. The only song you both played in, maybe not.
oh yeah,
But you were both kind of on one side of the stage anyway.
Yep.
And I was just like, and like, I've known Chad for a really long time, so I kind of look for his cues, and the dude's just entertaining, and he like looked over, and you looked over, the eyes went, and the fucking rock stance just went out, and I was like, yeah, fucking rock stance. So I'm assuming that's not all you do.
Actually, it almost really is, since I was, well, before I didn't do anything because I've been a stay-at-home dad since 2002.
Well, that's a job. Good for you.
Oh, it's a crazy job.
It's actually it was what I was never completely a stay-at-home dad, but when my second son was born, my second wife, yes, two sons, two wives. My second son was born, my second wife. I was like primary for the first 4 years. So, and my wife worked, full time. I worked part-time evenings, and so I was there all day, every day, and I loved it. Like, best. That was the best couple of years, man. It's so great.
It really is.
I mean, it wasn't like it wasn't work, but it was just fun.
Just try to keep that schedule. Have fun. The appointments and the errands and the.
Yeah. I mean, Peyton was a super fucking easy kid. I mean, I did lose him once. I mean, it happens. Whatever.
You know.
You ever hear that story? I don't know. I'll probably go to jail for this. Fuck it.
How many times have you said that in your life?
I almost went to jail that day. So I would still go in every night and close the restaurant or the cafe, and we closed at 1. So I mean, like, I'd get home at 2:30, go to sleep, whatever. She would get up, and she had to be to work by she had to be in at 11, right? So she'd usually get up with Peyton, and then I'd get up at 9, and then she'd leave and whatever. But I wasn't completely done sleeping usually, so we would sit on the couch, and he'd be eating cereal, and then I'd be up with him for a little while, and then fucking Blues Clues would come on, right? And I'm telling you, to this day, when I start hearing that song, I'm like, eyes get heavy, and I just like, that's the first clue. Right. And one day, he's 2 years old. He's wearing a yellow onesie, zip up pajamas and red rain boots. And I pass out during Blues Clues, and he decides he's going to go on a little walkabout. Could have been Dora the Explorer. I don't know. Right, at that point, they were back to back. But he decided he was going to go on a little walkabout, and he gets out of our house. And we lived out in the country, out in Merrifield. So, an indeterminate amount of time later, I get the, and I just jump up, and I'm like, where's Peyton? And I run to the fucking front door, and there is a cop.
Oh, no.
A female cop.
Oh, my God.
Holding my child under her arm. And...
Here, just take me.
And he goes...
I'm going to get pistol whipped, aren't I?
He goes,
son of a bitch.
He goes, Daddy! And reaches out for me, and I fucking take him, and I just sit down, and I just start bawling. I just was instant. I mean, I was there, and I sit down on the steps, and this cop is pissed, obviously, and I'm sitting there, and he's happy and whatever, but then she's scolding me for a little 30 seconds, and then realizes that I have crossed over that point where I can be scolded anymore. And she just sits down next to me, and she's starts doing she's like, sweetheart, you're not the first one to lose a kid.
I was going to say, do you know how many people have that same story, basically?
And she's like, he didn't get hurt and whatever, but she found him 2 miles down the road. And he
made a break for it.
He was at the fucking water landing, the boat landing, 2 miles down the road. Wow. So she gives me, tells me, whatever, gives me some advice about getting some locks on the doors where we can. I said, I try to stay up, but then the door, fucking Blues Clues comes on. She's like, I get it. I've fallen asleep with my children, whatever. It's not,
cops work weird schedules.
She's like, get some locks on the door or whatever. So I go, throw Pates in the car, go and get locks. Now, I make the executive decision to not tell my wife. Now, my second wife, Jess, she was, I don't know what the right word for it is. She was tough. She was an MMA fighter. Now, just to make it clear, everybody says, what was it like being with somebody who could kick your ass? I trained too. She could not kick my ass, but she also wasn't afraid to She was not.
She didn't kick your. She doesn't throw you around like Logan does.
Oh, Jesus Christ! One armbar. I had to fucking punish him the other day for that. So
Need put a little tally thing in the corner of the screen for every time that's brought up during a show.
right. Well, it will be brought up every fucking show from this point forward. So
Only until we die. So
right. So I decided I'm not going to tell her because I'm not afraid of her. I was never afraid of her, but she was. I just knew that it was. If it came up, it was going to be it. It was going to be a conversation
fight,
that there was going to be a fucking fight, And I mean, I didn't know I don't know how it was going to go. So anyway, I made the executive decision to not tell her. So 2 weeks go by, everything's gone. Then one day, I think it was a Saturday, whatever, because she was home Sunday, whatever. She decides she's going to go check the mail, and she brings Peyton with her, has Peyton under her arm, and he's wearing what's he wearing? He's wearing a yellow onesie, zip-up pajama, and some red rain boots. And she checks the mail, and the neighbor guy's out there, motherfucker, and says, "Oh, is that the little escape artist?" And she's like,
snitches get stitches, motherfucker.
And she's like, "What do you mean?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, it was just a couple weeks ago that the cops were by with him, wondering where." So she comes in and the door slams, and I was working on my computer downstairs, and and I was like, the second I heard the door slam, I was like, fuck.
I know the tone of that slam.
I know the tone of that slam. And she's like, "Matthew." I was like, holy shit, am I in trouble? So I like,
You stay in here, sweetheart, and don't come out no matter what you hear.
I was down in the basement, and then we had a weird spiral staircase, and I remember like walking up that spiral staircase, so I could see my head just peeks up over the top stair, and I see her there, and she's fucking got it, and I was like, of course he's wearing the same fucking
his
thing,
head goes back down.
And I just said, I remember saying, we had like a baby gate thing to it, and I was like, "You need to sit down." She's like, "What the fuck do you mean?" I said, "You need to sit down, or I'm not coming up any more stairs. I am not coming up the stairs unless you sit down." So, she was pissed, but in the end, I was like, "Look, I fucking totally know, and I knew I was wrong 100%, but I also knew that if I told you we were going to have a big fight, and I figured I had about a 60% chance of not getting busted, and I wasn't going to do it again. So, there you have it, right? I lost the kid. I'm not the worst father ever, according to the cop. And I didn't go to jail. So, that was it. Yeah, whatever. It happens.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know. It's definitely, it's been a crazy deal. At first, when you're used to working your whole life and then being just a stay-at-home, that's what it felt like. I was like, the first, probably 2 months, I was like, "You're a worthless piece of shit." Is the way it felt to me. It was like, you don't do anything. You just sit around here and, you do shit, but, it was just, I don't know. It was horrible, and then finally I realized, or somebody said it or something, I can't remember, but they were like, "You have the most important job in the world."
Right? That's, I was going to say, that's one of that shit that other people like you're thinking this shit, but it's just something you got to get right with yourself, because other people know that's legit. That's awesome.
And I mean, it seems to me like it would be offensive for me to think that of somebody who is a stay-at-home mom. If I'm like, "Oh, what do you do?" What? And she's like, "Oh, I'm a stay-at-home mom. I got 4 kids." I'm like, "Oh, fucking awesome!"
Right.
Man, hard work.
Yeah.
Boy, whew. And then kudos to the people that make another choice and do the daycare thing
for
or
sure.
whatever. But I love being a stay-at-home dad, man. I think we need to get rid of the gender in these words. It's not we even did. We said primary parent. I was the primary parent. I was primary. She was secondary. During that time, we flipped it eventually. So, yeah.
You're secondary.
I was, and then she was like, "Side thrust kick."
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It's definitely, in my mind, I'm super glad it happened. We had 4 kids at the time, though, that were all at home. So it was kind of it was actually cheaper.
Oh, then daycare?
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
It was back then it was kind of I would have been just working to pay somebody else to watch our kids.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah.
Which was kind of
and then you still got the opportunity on the weekends and evenings to go and rock people's socks off.
Yeah. And I worked a couple of times at golf courses and shit like that just to get free golf, little part-time job, just dumb stuff. But Yeah, before that, otherwise, I was in the bar business. Worked at the Blue Goose for, I don't know, a long time.
Did you burn it down?
Yeah, no, it wasn't me. Yeah, I wasn't the disgruntled guy. I think it was like 94 or something to 2002 is when I worked there, though.
Cool.
Really good times. That place was so much fun.
Cool.
So what is your I watched the thing. So you're like your security kind of thing?
Yeah.
Is that what
So I run the security out at Swabas, and which the place, I don't know.
See, I've never
we
met
got
Kyle
off to kind of
before.
we kind of got off to a strange start. Like I had my misgivings about the owner, and he had his misgivings about me, and now like I'd fucking take a bullet for that guy. He's so good to me and the boys. And I'd had friends that worked there, friends that had worked there for a long, long time. Eventually we sat down, and he needed some guys, needed to make some changes, and he told me that I could bring my guys because I already had a crew that had been with me for a long time. We did events and different stuff for bars and all this shit, and and I've been doing it for for fucking ever.
Yeah,
20-something years.
Kyle used to do my security when I needed it.
Yeah.
Whenever
Yeah,
I have shows,
yeah.
he would come in with his boys and do mine.
So
I've been looking for somebody.
and it's so we it's worked beautifully. First couple of years, we kind of had to train our crowd and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and now like the stuff that we have to deal with is minuscule, and and that's not all because of us. We can't take credit for all that. We take credit for some of it.
Oh, for sure.
But a lot of it, I think the bar culture seems to be changing a little bit too.
Man, I think you're downplaying your role in it though, Kyle.
I think so,
know
too.
your crew, and like you have some. I mean, first of all, massive humans, well trained, and but also very like respectful, polite. They know everybody knows. I've heard fucking stories about back in the day out there where it'd be like, show me your tits to get in, and you just know none of that shit's happening anymore.
That's cool.
It is cool. Like the Kyle's crew is like
That's
the
what I was
stand up, the sober, the fucking like
regimented kind of like, hey, we've got a code here and
Yep.
kind of deal.
and it's like well known in the area that you guys just do a fantastic job. So stop downplaying your shit.
That was the thing. I was like, you would have hated us at the fucking Blue Goose back in the day because we were like the most dickhead fucking asshole bouncing dudes.
Were you back in the
my
day when
God.
Brock used to go?
Oh,
back there?
for sure. Yeah. We just, with him though, it was completely different because we all knew that it was like there was nothing we could ever fucking do to like,
right? Like
grab
that
him.
shit's out of your hands.
So, but
like,
he was cool enough though where you just walk up there and you go, Brock, if you're gonna fucking fight, go outside. You know it. And he was like, yep. And then there's that one time, it was ridiculous. He goes out there to fight some fucking dudes. And
it's boring for him to fight one person at a time.
oh yeah, for sure. Then this girl comes running in and she's like, you gotta get out there right now. He's fighting like 5 fucking guys and he's all by himself. And I'm like, he knows what he's getting into. He knows what he's doing, okay? I'm pretty sure he's fine. If something bad happens, let me know. But otherwise, once it goes outside, we just let it go.
Somebody has to stay in here to call 5 ambulances.
So I don't want
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want to tell Brock's story, but I'm fairly familiar with this particular one, and I don't know if I have all the details correct, but it's something to this extent. But he ends up going outside, and there are 5 guys, and he's the last one out the door, and somebody picks up a snow shovel and fucking hits him across the face with a snow shovel.
It was out of the back of a truck. It was it wasn't a snow shovel. It was just a regular digging spade shovel.
A spade shovel, and racks him across the head,
Which is
and
worse.
And he goes down and like almost out, and he's he's on all fours, and he.
I walked outside just in time to see this.
And he said he was like I'm going out, but then he like saw the guy's ankle in front of him, and just I can't, and grabbed the guy's ankle and then stood back up, and then boom. So anyway, all 5 end up
not cold.
Yeah. He chased the last one down and got him. He ended up getting charges for it,
He threw that shovel back in the back of the truck, too.
I didn't
He grabbed it from that guy.
Because he doesn't litter.
Yeah, he grabbed it from that guy who took off running. And he was like holding it, and the guy just took off or whatever, and then he was kind of like chasing him a little bit, and then he fucking went back over and threw it in the back end of that truck, and then I don't know what else happened. I went in, but that was the part I saw. I just saw guys laying all over the place.
I believe he ended up facing charges for that, which seems a little bit like bullshit. And you also have to remember, this is pre-trained Brock. This is pre-trained Brock.
Yeah.
This is, not that Brock didn't, do wrestling and all that kind of stuff, but he hadn't even
before a fight,
he haven't even
before
started his jiu-jitsu career.
Everybody
But that was
knew he was a
actually when
badass.
he was a bad. The kid was, since like 9th grade, that was kind of like when he drew the line in the sand. But he, and I don't want to just like say how tough he is. So he is super tough, but but that was it. That was like the last fight that he got in non-professionally, other than like some ridiculous things that people have happened after that. But he changed he was like, I can't fucking do this anymore. He pretty much he does. But that fucking guy is still a magnet for bouncers, man. He was down in St. Cloud. He's got some crazy stories. I really want to have him come back on and just tell us fight stories, because they're so funny. Not professional fight stories, but just the ridiculous fight stories that have happened since he was a kid.
With him, though, it was always just that. It was like all you could do is just say, please, just fucking take it outside. I don't care. I don't want to, I'm not going to, I can't do really anything that's ever going to probably hurt you, and I know this.
And so bouncing with him is, pretty it's kind of like being the only, I can't really liken it to anything except, everybody else, the other team has spitball shooters, and you've got you've got a machine gun or a flamethrower or some shit, and which is always a nice advantage. I should probably the secret to my success with bouncing out there and stuff, a lot of places, Cody. I'm not the man I used to be, but Cody is, and then a whole lot more. My ace, basically my partner in that stuff, is this enormous man.
Yeah, I mean,
who's very he's a gigantic specimen. He's 6'4", 320, and very athletic. Do the splits. Great grappler. Great, just very athletic.
Yeah, I can't remember if he's a blue or purple belt, but he's tough.
Very
jiu-jitsu.
tough.
Last time I trained with him, we do this thing where you run around the circle, and then Brock will yell out attack, and then you have to attack. Fucking Cody grabs onto me.
He's just a behemoth.
It's I've been training a long time, but there are weight classes for a reason. There is nothing you can do when this 320-pound, and I'm not saying that Cody doesn't have any fat on him, but he is a solid block of muscle.
Yeah,
and he hip tosses me or something, and I'm underneath it, and I'm like, I quit. Just get off me.
Well, and he's also very personable and funny and friendly, and I mean, just
he's laughing the whole time he was laying on
very
top of
sharp.
me.
Yeah.
He gets more, like the fake. He's, don't bring your damn fake ID in there, because my guys are going to sniff it out, especially Cody. He's just super good at a lot of stuff, and just kind of makes it possible for me to maintain and yeah,
that's cool.
But yeah, all the guys are fantastic. I have a wonderful bunch of guys. Always have, some of them have come and gone over the years, but they're a fantastic bunch, and I feel like we do run a pretty professional, pretty tight ship. And I mean, a lot of that is the culture. We great training. We train every year with Dave Tim from Baxter PD, Diamond Dave Tim, who's a great dude. But we train, we keep up on stuff, and we pay attention, man.
Yeah, we were just horrible. God, it was just so bad. We used to.
Well, I worked at places where you are way more wasted than the guy you just kicked out. Well, that's
for sure.
It's,
I've had friends that bounced back in the day.
My first day at the Goose, I was sitting at the door before I became a bartender. That was my, started working the door. And I had a plastic cup of water. And Brian Hagan, the bar manager, bartender guy comes walking over and he's giving me the, you got to card everybody, fucking, blah, 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 and all this shit and going on and on, make sure, if I have to card anybody and they haven't been carded, whatever, and they're too, you're getting fired and if a fight breaks out and you're the last guy there, you're out of here and blah, blah, you better be the first guy there and all this stuff. And, yeah. And he looks at my cup of water and he goes, what you got in that? And I was like, it's, and he goes, vodka tonic? And I was like, no. I said, it's, and he goes, gin and tonic? I was like, no. And he was, lemon sour, or whatever. And I'm like, no.
Exhausting every possibility.
Just about, basically. And I was like, no, it's just water. And he goes, takes it and he throws it right in the garbage can. And he turns around with this disgusted look on his face, like, oh, and goes behind the bar, fucking grabs a Captain. I'd never even drank Captain before, but he grabs a bottle of Captain and Coke and fucking makes me a Captain Coke, brings it back and sets it there. He goes, when you work at the Blue Goose, you drink. He goes, we all fucking drink here. He goes, that's what you drink.
And that place burned down? Weird.
Yeah.
So weird. All right. Well, let's take a little break. And then when we get back, we need to address our fan mail. Yeah, fan mail.
Yes.
All right. Let's take a little break. We'll see you guys in a sec.
I mean, that's every bar, but like, man, out there, like Zorba's and shit, like I used to tell people, like, people that ask me, how come you never come up to Zorba's and stuff? Why do you always hang out downtown? Because I used to hang out downtown a lot. And I would tell them, better class of people. And everybody thought that I was joking, but, I mean, just because your crowd might have a little more money does not mean that their behavior or their morals or any of that shit is any fucking better.
Yeah.
I mean, I watched shit like just Thursday night, it was a fucking Thursday, and I'm like, is there any married woman here right now that did not give out her number or get somebody else's number like throughout the course of this evening? I'm just like, fucking A people.
Yeah.
And I joke about shit, but god damn, like really?
Getting IDs from people at the bar and you can see their ring cam. It's like, come on.
Fuck.
That's ridiculous.
Those are the people that make me self-conscious about ever taking, because I take mine off like when I work out and shit, so that it doesn't get all like scratched up and bent up and nasty and shit. So like, there's certain things I'll take it off for, and then I always put it on my keychain. But then I'm like, I have to remember to put that thing back on because I don't want to be mistaken for the fucking guy that like comes in with like the fucking like the tan hand with a white band and shit where his wedding ring goes. Because I'm like, dude, and cause I see that shit a lot. And I'm like, man, and the other, and the other side of that, like, I'm like, dude,
with girls that way too,
yeah, and I'm like, and I look at every time I see that, I'm like, dude, you can either get pussy or you can't get pussy, like. Whether you have a ring on or not is of no consequence to that. Because like, if you're just going to meet a girl tonight and she's going to fuck you tonight, she probably doesn't care if you're married, dude. Like
it might even make it better.
Yeah.
Because then you're less likely.
We've talked about that before. How like, I mean, the quality of girls that fucking hit on me, like I don't get hit on that much. But like since I've gotten married, it happens less. But the quality, like, I mean, as far, not the quality of their character, I'm talking about their looks and stuff. Like better looking women, like a fucking gorgeous girl was hitting on me last night, and I was like, are you fucking serious? Like, is it the dad? I mean, what the, like, you have daddy issues or what the shit, like, what's your problem? But whatever, there's no accounting for taste. I just think hers was terrible.
I hear you. Like, look at me, come on.
Fuck.
I fucking think I look great.
No. Hey, you do. You're very fit.
When you strap on a fucking guitar, everybody just looks a lot cooler. You're like, dye the shit blue,
That's the only reason I own a guitar. I can't play that thing to save my fucking life.
But
I bought it with good intentions, but why haven't I done anything with it? Why haven't I gotten rid of it? Because it's a prop now. Like at some point I'm going to use it like to take a picture or some shit like that. I don't know. Fuck.
Just put a drum set in the living room and a guitar. And shit. Hey, what's going on? You like my place?
Wrote this song about you, girl. Are you sure you wrote it? Yes, I did. I think I've heard that. No, you haven't. It's an original. I wrote this for you. This is not a Chris Stapleton song.
Never meant to cause you any pain. I keep looking at that Prince.
I feel like we're wasting our fucking pearls again.
Man, I always do
We
this.
gotta stop wasting pearls. I mean, I'm just gonna cut this all in. Are we ready? I know that fucking fly. That one fucking fly.
It'll be fine.
I felt like I was in whatever that show was, Breaking Bad, the other day. I fucking just wanted to kill this fly in here, and I was just walking around, just couldn't find that fucking thing.
I invested 2 seasons in that fucking show, and it left me
Oh.
high and dry. I could not get into
Such a
it.
good show. But
Get
that's
some
just-
chopsticks and Miyagi it.
Yes.
There we go. Yeah.
Or just a straw. That'd be good.
That would be good.
That'd be gross, but it'd be good.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Spitballing. I'm Matt Taylor, here with my good buddy,
Kyle Amundsen.
and we're here with Ron,
Behrens.
Behrens. That's it, Behrens.
Finger guns.
God, I got bad memory. Got bad fucking memory. Yeah. Well, you guys missed a whole bunch of really cool shit that we just did during the break. It was all super funny. We found out that Ron one time got picked up by a chick.
Like physically picked up.
Physically,
like under the arms.
literally picked up by a chick.
I was working at the Blue Goose, and she got in a fight with somebody else or started it, and I just escorted her outside. And when she got outside, she turned around and she put her hands in my armpits and lifted me right up and put me up against the side of the Blue Goose outdoors, and I was like a foot off the ground. I was just like, what the fuck
That
is
is
going
awesome.
on? I smacked her arms and fell back to the ground. Don't you ever pick me up again. It's just ridiculous. My buddies were all laughing. The other, but
But the little mental version like that is played out in my head is way funnier. Where like she looks down, and you're like, "Don't judge me for that." Like, yes, I'm rock hard now. God damn it! It's really impressive, and I'm kind of turned on.
yeah. Yeah. What are you doing later? Yeah, it was crazy though, and I got shit for it. Like, I
Well, of
still will.
course.
Like, if I run into any of those guys, hey, remember that time that chick picked you up?
That's fucking amazing, though. That's awesome.
It was awesome. It was impressive.
Yeah,
I
so
just couldn't
impressive.
believe it. My feet were like, it felt like a foot off the ground. I was just like, whoa, dangling there.
Some kind of Amazon.
Yeah, she was a baby dangler. Yeah, she was.
That's great. Well, in this segment, we wanted to talk a little bit about some feedback that we received. So we put out there on Facebook and all over the place that we really wanted to get your feedback, and we've gotten
appreciate
a
it.
ton of feedback. And most of it has been really good. There's been some corrective criticism that I've taken to heart, and we've made some changes, and we appreciate that too. A lot of it was about our audio quality and stuff, and we really think we've come a long way. But
And we need to hear this stuff. It's great. Thank you. Keep it coming.
it is great. And but I got a pretty lengthy email the other day from this lady and this woman, and she has some corrective criticisms, and I'm gonna launch in. We'll stop a couple times through here and talk a little bit about these parts, but it's not all positive. So I think it's important that we kind of address everything. All right. So this
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, right. So this comes from Dirty Girl on the Lake, is her handle here. And I'm just going to start in here. As someone who can appreciate humor of many kinds, I thought I should let you know what a fucking douche you are about your girlfriend and toward her on the episodes where you talk shit about her and the things she does for you. You're not funny when you call her a psycho. The nicest thing you have ever said about her is that she isn't stupid. That's debatable if she's dating you. You've been married how many times? Solid start. I've been married twice. I had one long-term relationship after that, but twice married, one long-term relationship. Not very good at it. We live in the same area and are about the same age. I don't remember ever knowing you to be anything but protective about the people in your life. Seems that she isn't your type in lots of ways. Older than you like. Ooh, it might be a little jab on some of my past. My previous relationship was quite a bit younger than younger than me. Kids and extremely young ones, and she seems confident in who she is, or at least comes across that way. Here are the things that I question while relaxing on the boat and listening to you guys bullshit. In the past episodes, you said that she gets your attention when you hang out with her, but otherwise she doesn't need to know what you're doing or who you are with, and shouldn't bother you with messages or call you except to hear from you because you are just that fucking cool and you do what you want when you want to, and it's none of her damn business.
Now, I don't feel like that's exactly what you said, but like, we'll get back.
Well,
to
we
that.
can
That
talk
wasn't
a
the
little
way
bit about
I
it.
took it, and I know exactly. I remember
let's address
that.
it. How,
but-
what did you guys think? What I said?
It's just about that, like, because you mentioned that whole, like, having to constantly be in touch, like, you don't need to be in touch with someone, like, you don't need, like, if you carry on a dialogue, like, 24 hours a day, like, like, if you talk all day, you don't have shit to talk about when you get home, like, I mean, maybe you do, maybe, whatever.
I took it as you guys are just comfortable enough to be able to fucking just. You don't have to be constantly, hey, what are you doing? Hi, how are you?
Yeah. You don't have to check in every hour on the hour or any weird shit like that.
I think that's kind of how I meant it. The truth is that I can't stand being in constant contact with anything. I don't like being connected, and it's not just with my girlfriend. It's with everyone in my life.
No, take it from me. It's not just constant contact. It's even sporadic or occasional contact Matt struggles with.
I do. I don't like to focus on multiple different things. When I'm doing something, that's what I want to do. Whether it's like working on my car or like doing whatever crazy project I'm doing, I'm just all into that project. And if I turn my notifications off on my phone like all of the time, unless I'm on call or I'm expecting a call or something like that. I just turn my notifications off. I don't want to fucking look at that shit. I don't want to be interrupted. I don't want my creative flow to be disrupted. So fuck it. And Meta has been pretty good about that. And there have been times where she's like, I need to hear from you sometimes. I need to know what's going on with you. And I'm like, I'm good. And we've worked it out. It's been fine. But you're right. I definitely can admit to being a bad communicator to.
But it's not something that anyone should take personally.
Yeah, and if somebody can't deal with that about me, they're in the wrong. They're in the wrong fucking relationship. Makes everyone listening wonder what would let her allow you to do that, and why be with someone who you don't want to be with them. And both you guys and your guests seemed like you would never fly. That would never fly for them in real life, but they seem to have nothing but love for their women. It was a little bit of a rough paragraph, but I think what Miss Dirty Girl on the Lake is saying there is that, she can't believe that Meta would allow me to not be in constant contact with her. And I gotta say, I don't really allow anybody to do anything. Like, I am me. Oftentimes, and I think I maybe even say it too much, but I have kind of the Popeye syndrome. I am what I am. It's all that I am. I'm Popeye the Sailor Man. I don't like you. I feel like I'm very honest. I don't really put on a lot of false airs. Okay, maybe you're just a shady ass motherfucker. I've heard stories of after parties at your place with shirtless girls because they just don't like to keep their tops on, or how ever since you had a girlfriend, you have let drunk girls sleep in your bed with you after bar or anytime they are downtown too late and they know you'll rescue them to make sure they are safe. It's convenient for them because they know you won't say no, and that if they act like they feel uncomfortable because of someone at the bar or just act shit-faced, you'll take care of them.
Well, that kind of pisses me off because the first rule of Matt's Shirtless After Bar Club is you don't talk about Matt's Shirtless After Bar Club. So somebody's been running their fucking mouth. If it's you, you know who you are, knock it off.
I don't know you well enough to know. And I haven't been down here, but I mean, to me, that just sounds like, wow, how in the fuck do you know all this shit? I mean, seriously, but I don't know. I mean, maybe they do. Maybe they know a lot of people that you're housing. I don't know, man.
I'd like to know some of these people.
Right.
I don't know. I don't even think it warrants a refute, but.
But it's kind of funny. That's why I'm glad we decided to to respond. That, and like, if you write to us, chances are, like, hey, maybe we'll read your letter on, especially if it's awesome like this.
So we're still talking about the Shirtless Girl Club. You don't convey to them that you're not interested in them, just that at the moment you're taken. So they are more than okay with continuing coming over and sleeping over if they get too drunk, because no one knows. More people than you realize, as one of your frequent friends has a big mouth and seems to assume you two have a connection, which tells me and the rest of the town that you are more than interested in a handful of women in the downtown scene. I was interested in the phrase frequent friends. I don't really have frequent friends. I just have friends. They're just friends.
Right.
Even if I don't see them for years and years, they're my friends. And I don't have them, but yeah. It sounds like you're on the other side of the bar most nights, and shit-faced too. Cool, man. You're making yourself sound like a prize, when actually, I think you're a pretty decent guy.
I think you need some image help from Dirty Girl on the Lake. Maybe. I don't mean to pick. No, I do fucking mean to pick. But, like, just some image help. Clearly, she's got a handle on the way she wants to be perceived. And I think that maybe maybe a follow up, maybe some feedback on how you should present yourself. Maybe like filthy Matt at spitballing.com.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea.
I don't know.
Titty Looker Matt.
Titty Looker Matt.
Topless party guy.
King of the Shirtless Girls Club.
Drunk on this side of the bar all the time.
I would like to address this specifically because I think it's important that people I love this bar, the 9th Street Social Club. I work here one night a week. I work here Saturday nights. It's the only night I ever work. And I don't drink when I'm working. It's just, I think it's the responsibility of the bartender to be sober, and it's just the way that it is. So this piece is actually just complete fucking bullshit. Okay. Even your guest looked flabbergasted when you were talking about how he performed the song for you and not for her because of you. Or because you're you. Sounded kind of like you forced him, but I sense that's a theme. Way to put her down after she seemed to be doing something nice. You could tell he felt bad. Even tried to explain himself. So even sitting next to you, he thought you were being serious. So what she's talking about is on the last episode when we had Seth on, I played a video clip that Meta had put together for me of a song that was important to us. And it was a song that Connor wrote for Bright Eyes, and this is this cute little song about, basically, fresh love. And she got a bunch of people together to sing little parts of the song, edited it together, and gave it to me, and we played it on the show. And I gotta tell you, it was fucking very touching. It was very wonderful. Sweet. And
I thought it was a super cool idea.
It was super cool. Yeah, and a bunch of cool people got involved doing it. And I didn't want to take any of that away from her. I thought it was like an awesome thing to do for somebody. And I wanted to get Seth to play the song for her. Now, I did coerce him to do it. I did, because I can. I mean, he wanted to come on the podcast, and I'm like, okay, motherfucker, learn the song, come on the podcast, play it. Now, I was trying to be sweet, and Meta took it that way, but I can see how somebody could be confused about that. Make sense?
I guess so.
No, I think she was just being a cunt, but whatever. Okay.
Yeah, because I don't get it. I mean, it's like, so was she thinking that you were like trying to one-up her?
That was exactly what she was saying. She was saying that I kind of like was one-upping Meta because I was able to get Seth to play the song even though she couldn't. Now she asked Seth to play it, and he said that. Well, she asked me to play it, but I mean, you forced me to play it, so I'll play it. It's all true, but we were being funny.
Oh yeah, that's the way I saw it too.
Clearly,
like, just talking shit amongst each other, and cool.
Clearly, Dirty Girl has a different relationship, and I mean, I think that she just doesn't appreciate, she hasn't been around you guys, doesn't appreciate the dynamic, doesn't know how you guys are, and doesn't enjoy that same kind of back and forth with her cats.
Yeah, because I never shit on Meta. I mean, unless she asks me to. It's always always consensual.
Absolutely.
Do her a favor and let her find someone who respects her and wants to have contact with her when they aren't with her, and who will value her.
Oh.
Well, there's more.
There's a favor. There's more. A favor.
There's a difference between humor and putting someone down. Absolutely true. Just like rape
Barely.
isn't funny. You made me laugh at the line. Rape isn't funny.
I'm sorry that you laugh about rape now.
Now that's the deal. You're laughing about rape.
Now, here's where we talk about Kyle. At least your co-host knows that his girlfriend, it's his wife, shouldn't be the butt of every put down. He's only talked nice about her. Don't glorify being a shitty person. And if you think your relationship is such a joke, don't be in one.
Don't glorify being a shitty person. That doesn't leave us with much.
Yeah.
We're shitty people.
I am a shitty person.
What are we supposed to glorify? I don't really know what she's talking. I feel personally attacked.
I do like this episode. I do like the episode, and I think you two are interesting. Well, thank you.
Appreciate
But
that very
maybe
much.
leave your girlfriend out of it if she is just the butt of your jokes. Or maybe just be single, since that's kind of the way you life your life. I'm thinking live your life. Poking fun once in a while is okay. But if every time you mention her name, it's in a negative light, that is coming from somewhere. Nothing? Okay.
I've heard you say a lot of positive things about Meta, actually. It feels like I've seen
Yeah.
a lot of
I
very
always think
positive
it's cute
stuff,
when
but
you
I don't
talk
know.
about her on the show and stuff, because you do a lot,
Yeah.
I think it's cute. Christine thinks it's cute. Meta herself thinks it's cute. I think that's kind of the
I'm
consensus.
really trying to find it in a way where it's like,
it's
because I've
tough.
never felt that. I mean, and I've, like I said, I don't know you that well, and I really honestly don't know Meta super well either, but I've known her for quite a while. Just we're always friendly to each other and stuff like that, and I don't know. I never felt like watching any of these, and I love watching them, and I like watch them pretty intently. That I was like, oh man, that Matt's kind of a fucking dick to Meta. Not even close, man.
I've never felt that way. And most importantly, I don't think Meta's ever felt that way. That was actually
That's
the
most
end
important,
of the
right, yeah.
email. And then I replied to it, but accidentally. I didn't mean to reply. I actually meant to forward it to my friend Aaron, to Aaron Lewis, who works there. But instead, when I forwarded it, I actually replied to it, and I replied Aaron's email address.
We're old. Email is hard.
Plus, I think I was
Alright?
drinking at that point, and
Drinking is easy. Email is hard.
And anyway, so then she responded, was that some kind of reply, blah, 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 blah. And I'm not going to read it because that was pretty lengthy, but I did want to read the last paragraph of her second email. And this is it. If I'm the only one who sees it, then fuck me. I'm in the wrong. Maybe I just don't get the part of the humor, or I've had shit talked about me by guys I dated, and it's screwed my view on things. Ask your girlfriend what she thinks. Maybe she's just that cool. Or don't. You're the same guy that joked about suicide, so you don't seem to give a flying fuck what anyone thinks. That actually isn't a bad route to take. It makes the whole thing you've got going on work. Maybe I'm just jealous that someone could actually just not give a shit what other people think. Might think of them based on what was said about them in such a public way. Was I really that off base with how I saw it? I'm going to have to rewatch the last one for sure. So, Dirty Girl on the Lake, I feel like you redeemed yourself.
You know, and I don't mean to be a prick
paragraph.
about it. Like, I was just making jokes. I mean, your take, like, you know, if that's her take on stuff, that's her take on stuff. You know, like,
well, at the core of it, she's really trying to look out for Meta's best interests.
Sure.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see it as mean-spirited or anything. I mean, it's a little kind of all over the place, but I mean, like, whatever. Like, that's kind of the way I think before I. That's why, like, written is my chosen, you know, my favorite medium, because I have a chance to organize my thoughts like that. You know, and clearly, it's not like a mean-spirited thing. You know, like I disagree. You know, but like that's like my take on shit. I think most people's. But you know, and I just poke fun. Like I didn't mean to be mean about it.
Well, I think that's the deal with a lot of this whole thing, though. I mean, because there's like certain things, you know, that you guys have talked about all kinds of crazy stuff like race and, you know, a little bit of politics and stuff like that and just other stuff. But, you know, you can joke around about stuff. You guys have talked about this, and if everybody knows what the joke kind of is or something like that, that it's not really, you know, it's just, that's it. We're just joking. I don't mean nothing by this. Like, I'm not trying to fucking dig on, you know. I just can't even. I didn't see that. I saw it as just cracking jokes, and I think actually even Meta and I at the ball field, because our kids play on the same team, we're kind of laughing about some of the shit that you said on the show.
Well, I mean, Meta is our number one fan. I mean, she
with great constructive criticism and like
the
just
bitch
help and support.
If I fuck anything up, like if the lighting is off, or like if I like cool. I forgot to introduce myself one time, and she's like, "You have to introduce."
And she sticks up for me when Matt is mean to
there
me
shall
about my
be
singing.
no singing.
So Dirty Girl, if you want to send Matt like something, you know, about him being a dick, how about him being mean to me about my singing? Come on now, I'm waiting for that.
She's very right though in this last paragraph where she says, you know, like maybe it is just that I don't really give a fuck what anybody thinks about me. I mean, I am the guy who joked about suicide. Yep. You're right. Like, I actually don't give a fuck. I'm glad that you were willing to share it with me because it gave us something to talk about. And we really do want your feedback, positive or negative. And if you think I'm a douchebag, that's totally fine. But I really do take the Joe Rogan approach to doing this in a very public forum. And that is, I don't really give a fuck what you think. My ideas and my beliefs and my shit is evolving every day. And it is likely that at some point in the future, I will change the way I think about things because I'm willing to evolve. But I don't fucking care what people think. I really don't. I am what I am. It's all that I am.
That must be my job because I always care what people think.
You do?
Oh, I'm a slave to it. Yeah.
Really?
Oh man. See, I come from a different place on that. Like I think. And I've noticed this like on social media and stuff. Like somebody goes on Facebook and says, "I don't give a fuck what people think." I'm like, "Is that why you felt the need to share that with us all here on Facebook?"
Right. Sure.
You know, and I think that like reality is basically made up of people's perceptions. You know, and you know, I very much care what people think, but I don't care. Like I don't feel the need to be super liked because I feel like I'm pretty well liked. I think you know the people that matter certainly like me, so I don't feel like I need to bend over backwards to please people and shit like that. Although I do like to be liked, it's kind of a luxury. But I would never go so far as to say that I don't care what people think because I absolutely do. And you know, but
yeah, okay. Well,
but I mean, I know
believe
like
you,
I
but
know that
I don't.
I know,
and it's not a fake thing. And I don't think I've ever put on Facebook like I don't care what people think, but this is what I think. No, I just actually don't care what they think. I'm very comfortable with who I am. I really like this dude. I don't always like this dude. I think sometimes, especially Matthias, can be a fucking dickhole. But the truth is, that's my alter ego that comes out when I'm super
His
drunk.
evil twin.
Yeah. We talked about it early in the program. But yeah, and I've definitely had to write apology letters, but that's, like I said, that's Matthias. But the truth is I really enjoy who I am. I really don't do anything that I don't want to do anymore, right? So if I'm actively engaged in doing something, it's because I fucking want to do it. I'm at a place in my life where I don't need anything. I don't need money. I don't need anything. I don't do anything that I don't want to do. And that includes Meta. I fucking enjoy that bitch. I love being with her. I enjoy her kids. And I do that on purpose.
Yeah.
And she knows that. And yes, I am totally willing to poke some fun at her. And I think...
It's healthy.
And I think that's good. And by the way, that bitch is totally... I keep calling her bitch. And that's even something I'm really trying not to do. But Meta, that girl, is totally willing and able to poke fun back at me. And I could give you some examples, except they're too embarrassing, all right? But I'll just say, the other night, sitting here while I'm working at the bar, she brings in her friend Katie, and they start talking very loudly about a very personal thing that happened, embarrassing the living shit out of me in front. We're not talking about it. In front of, like, Aaron and, like, I don't know, whoever else is here. And I'm just saying, it goes both ways. We're comfortable enough in our relationship to swing, So.
Oh my God! If I even tried to think of how many times daily my wife picks on me and talks just kind of just shit about me to me, or to other people, I'm standing right there and she's like, "Well, yeah, and you got this guy," and I'm like, I'm right here, okay, and it's got my kids doing it now too, and it's just ridiculous. It's a bunch of girls against me, God did it to me on purpose.
You think so?
Oh yeah, for sure, because of the way I was when I was younger.
Oh,
I was kind of a dickhead to girls.
So you had a bunch of daughters.
Yeah.
Oh, there you
That's
go.
what you get.
Yeah.
Well,
You definitely deserve it.
Seen it before.
Yeah.
So it's not a direct segue. It's not it's not exactly the segue I thought it might become. But I have something almost related. So Dirty Girl
on the lake.
Dirty Girl. Yeah, the whole and we called it hater mail, like we joked about it and stuff.
We did debate pretty seriously about role playing it.
Yes, I was going to play the part of Dirty Girl and get a wig on and stuff like that, and I was going to read the letter. But then I got a wig on and we're role playing. I'm pretending to be a girl already. She gets carried away.
I got inappropriate.
Yeah, we've known each other for 30 years. It's anyway.
I'm just saying, Kyle's got nice tits.
Hey, things happen. Christina asked me to. We talked. Something that Christina and I talked about the other day was like. Sometimes, and I think this is a lot like a thing that women do more than guys. And I mean, I'm not trying to pigeonhole or stereotype anyone or whatever, but sometimes it's hard for women to like. Women tend to shit on other women's happiness a lot. I think guys are generally just like happy for each other, like bro, but I think women shit on each other's happiness a lot, and not all women, of course. But like one thing that happens a lot that frustrates Christine is she'll be talking about us, and when she's talking about us, she's usually talking about like how fun our life is together and how happy we are and stuff. And because we just got married in October, some other woman has always got to chime in with, well, you guys are newlyweds.
Right.
Like, oh, yeah, like, oh, don't worry, this is going to go away.
Just wait till the other shoe drops. You'll see how much of a douchebag he really is.
Right? Can I say, with a great degree of certainty that that we will always be this happy. Well, I feel like I can because we super enjoy each other, yeah, well, okay, you're right. And if it makes and if it makes a woman feel better to about her situation, to be like, well, that won't last. Okay, well, if that makes you feel better about your fucking miserable life, then that's cool. But whatever, we're super happy, and just it'll change. You're newlyweds, man. Fuck your miserable life.
It might change for a day or two. Everybody goes through their bullshit.
Yeah,
but I mean,
no relationship is perfect. But yeah, I just. That's like a question that I've got. I would actually welcome feedback on that. Do you think it's fair of me to say that women shut on each other's happiness a lot? Do you see where I'm coming from on this, or am I maybe I'm way off base? I don't know.
I don't know if it's necessarily women though, because I've met a lot of dudes too that are kind of like they just hate to see somebody else do good.
Yeah,
it's like
I think it is more prevalent in women, but I don't know if I'm qualified to comment on that. But I think that like jealousy is an emotion that I feel like is wasted and is never positive. I mean, I don't think jealousy is ever a positive thing.
Right. I guess maybe because I'm thinking about it in like band terms, I see it like that, and like sometimes you'll see one band start to do good and other guys are like, yeah, well, if you want to write bullshit songs and whatever. Right. And it's like, come on, and happy for them. I don't give a fuck. Anytime
competition's involved, like in jiu-jitsu, it happens. There are people who like get upset when somebody passes them in skill and athleticism and so on and so forth. And I am not perfect in that realm, but I have always. Also partially because I've taught for so long, but I always feel like it's the fucking best thing, man, when you have somebody that you like that you have watched like develop, and all of a sudden like they're fucking like getting to the point where you got to be careful.
Are you talking about Logan?
No, fuck that little kid.
Another tally in the back of the screen there.
Yeah, sure. I'm talking about Logan as well as many other students.
I know what you're talking about. That was a cheap shot on my part.
When you have somebody who starts to pat you, I feel great. Like I feel great. I'm like, go.
Oh, you should.
Whatever. Yeah, for sure.
And that's the way people should feel, I would think, too, in a weird way about relationships. I mean, come on,
Or like, in bands. Hey, like if a band, it's like, man, they're fucking killing it. It's like, good for them.
You just hate to see other people do fucking good. Is that really, what your deal is? I mean, come on.
Even when even if I find someone like that that I'm not particularly a big fan of, I'll be like, I fucking can't stand that guy. But man, him and his wife are fucking magical together. Like shit like that. That makes I'm happy for people, even if I don't fucking like you and you're in a good, healthy relationship. I'm happy for you. You know, like good for you.
Bon Jovi. I'm like, man, God, it's so irritating, but can't deny it. Fucking millions and millions of records sold, and it's like
Bon Jovi.
Whatever. I don't know. To me, that's the way
I feel the same.
You know what I mean? It's just like that's the way.
Way to pull out a 40-year-old reference.
Well, hey, look at. But I gotta cover up the gray with the blue.
When I think about that stuff, though, I always think like that just means that a lot of people have bad taste, But then I'm like, okay, is my taste great? Because I listen to some fucking weird shit.
I can actually, now that you say it, I can point to one like thing that I think is like that, and it's comedy for me. Not even for me, but just like in comedy, it definitely can have that culture of like.
That bastard.
That fucker. Yeah. Like, man, I'm way funnier than him. Look at he's got that, and he's whatever. And it's like, and that's a tough one because it's personal. It's really personal. Comedy is personal, and like you see somebody doing a show, and you're like, fucker ain't that funny. I could fucking do that show. And that's
it's so subjective.
But like, if I think everybody should be able to just check your fucking jealousy at the door. Just check your fucking jealousy at the door, and just love and support people, and and I think you're good.
And there's a way to be jealous too, but like nice about it. You
there is.
Well, yeah, you can tell them. dude, I'm so fucking jealous of you bastard. You
Okay.
know?
Yeah, in more,
fuck,
in
you
that
know?
appreciative way instead
Yeah.
of the
Yeah.
ugly,
I'm so
way that
jealous
makes
of you
really
guys having a cool ass show like this. You know?
Are you?
Cool. Yeah, kind of. I am. It
Well, get
looks
your own
like a lot
fucking
of fun.
show.
I know. Yeah. Well, it'll never be as good as this one, though.
Yeah, believe me, we
Fucking
never wanted to
assholes.
be good at guitar or anything like that.
I guess you're right because I am super jealous of being a musician. Like,
Man.
it's one of those things
That's
that
been
I've
like my number one
always-
thing my whole life.
I've
Like,
always
I've just
wished I
envious.
could play anything, and whatever. And everybody's like, "Well, anybody can learn." I'm like, "Yeah, except I don't have like, what's that called? Oh yeah, fucking desire or discipline or like
And the patience
motivation.
Just
and
for
all that
that
stuff.
area, though.
Takes
I mean,
that.
you've got
Well, yeah.
discipline and drive and other shit
and
that
other
you
shit.
do.
But I like right. I mean, I put my
Energy.
how many ever hours it takes to become good at something. I put that into jujitsu.
Right.
Oh yeah, me and Sage Daniel, Danny, my friend Danny Sargent, who is a friend of the show that you guys will meet soon. We were talking about that the other day. How like some people, people just devote themselves to different stuff. There's some people out there that like sacrifice everything and just work, just grind it out, to be like successful, like financially and stuff. And that's their thing. And that's not for anyone to take anything away from. And some people just devote themselves, completely to, like their family, and some people like, I just, like the relationships and stuff like that, and like we've all got our shit. And people just apply themselves in different areas based on, their motivation and their, and their drives.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm still looking for some kind of drive because I'm not good at anything.
Lies. So many lies.
Well, I mean, magnificent lover.
Lift heavy
Right,
things.
yeah.
Very
Yes,
good.
I can pick stuff up and put it down.
Everything's like a motherfucker.
Oh, shit.
That's awesome. Well, Dirty Girl on the Lake, I just want to say thank you, truthfully, for writing in. I mean, some of this shit that you said hurt my feelings at first, but in the end of it, I really appreciate your feedback. And also, thanks for fucking actually listening. I mean,
For sure.
you were able to point out some very fucking specific things that pissed you off. That's not casual. You listened, you got pissed off about it, and you were willing to fucking write in about it. So good for you. I appreciate that. I'm not going to change. Sorry. But I still appreciate you doing it.
It wasn't all negative. She liked
She
finds
liked
it-
Kyle.
finds you guys
Kyle was
in-
okay.
yeah.
Kyle was okay. And
Kyle's
Seth-
fucking likable.
Seth was super
entertaining.
sweet. But
Man. Yeah, I this is great. I mean, yeah, it doesn't, like, not everything you say has to be, wonderful. Hopefully I'm not opening up the door for
but bring it on. No, that said, like we're not gonna probably have the opportunity to like address every issue that anybody sends in. But in the beginning, we're starving a little bit for feedback, so we more than likely will take it. And we actually struggle a little bit. Like, should we even address it? Because it's not. But it's like, I think we should address anything. We like our whole deal is that we're going to be unfiltered and we're going to just
Yeah.
put it out there. So yeah.
and it's
Bring
very
it
important
on.
that that we really do appreciate it. So I mean, it was a good thing.
That's
We
the
did-
part about being unfiltered too. I mean, we're all fucking human, and there's gonna be shit that you say that some other people don't agree with, no matter which way you are
and if I'm-
how you do it. You can't please everybody.
And if
all
I'm
the fucking
fucking
time.
wrong, if I say shit that's wrong, then I want to definitely be corrected. The one example that I can think of.
Yeah, we're big
not-
boys. We can take it.
Not the goddamn Neanderthal thing, because we didn't really know when fucking Neanderthal. Who cares?
We said
I mean,
20,000 years. It was 40,000 years.
yeah, my sister was all pissed off. But other than that, like, I had made some comment about how everybody owned slaves and, like, when the fucking flag was being developed and
Yeah.
and I was wrong, and like I actually went and did some research about it. Somebody mentioned it on Facebook, and I was like, yeah, I was wrong. I mean, so I'm willing to admit that. But again, we are not experts on anything, not even experts on ourselves.
We are just our humble selves.
Yeah, we're not here to lay fact bombs on you or anything like that. We got 0 fact bombs.
Yeah, and we're not trying to dazzle you with our knowledge.
Yeah.
If we're going to dazzle you with anything, it'll be with our good looks.
Yeah, we're not going to cast pearls before swine, and we're going to maybe cast like
And
some
you
like
are fucking swine.
yeah, we're just going to cast some like dirty pebbles. That's what we got. We got dirty pebbles.
Right.
Yeah.
A lump of some unidentifiable subject or matter or whatever.
Yes.
That was some other one. What else do we got?
That's me. A lump.
I don't have
You have
anything
anything else on your list?
Well, I mean, I did have, I was briefly gonna touch on some timely, controversial stuff, but so I will. So I
is gonna die.
the social media thing, you all know that I spend a lot of time. If you watch the show, you know I spend a lot of time on Facebook, and I keep seeing with over the last couple of days or whatever, the El Paso shootings, and then the Dayton, Ohio shootings, and man, so I'm a gun owner and a firearms enthusiast. We are gun owners and firearms enthusiasts.
Same.
But I keep seeing people that are so concerned, like their first thing out of their mouth is another shooting. Great. Now they're gonna, now I'm gonna have to read about all this gun control shit. Okay, you're right. You're the real victim here. I'm glad you're out there seeking the attention that you deserve as the victim.
Yes.
Very decent of you. Now, the other thing, and here's the thing about here's the reason that a lot of people I think that I talk to about these things or that see me talking about these things think that I come down on the pro-gun control side. I'm pro-solution, and I'm pro-debate, and but mostly I am anti gun violence. I mean, especially come on, like these random awful massacres, and these school shootings and stuff. I think that we should. I would think that we'd all be against that. So when you see people talking about gun control, I notice it gets people so heated. You get so fucking riled up about the idea that someone wants to stop these fucking shootings. And I know that's not what you're mad about. But please know that that's where they're coming from when they talk about this. They don't want to take your guns just to see the pissed off expression on your face, or to make you fucking blow a goddamn gasket and cry about it on Facebook. You have to understand where they're coming from. One of the big reasons that people, I think that I'm a fucking gun grabber is because A, I'm not afraid of the conversation. This is stuff that we should talk about. And B, some of the arguments on both sides are pretty poor. But I feel like some of the dumbest fucking arguments are on the NRA side, the gun lobby side. Some of those arguments are really fucking stupid. So I'm also anti-stupid. So that's why if I jump in an argument, I'm like, that doesn't make any fucking sense. That doesn't mean that I don't love guns and I want to take your guns. That just means that fucking particular argument is stupid. It doesn't even mean you're stupid. It just means that maybe you haven't thought about it that well, or you haven't tried to access all the information available. So I mean, there's those things, but that's about all I've got. I've your first takeaway when you hear about a massacre shouldn't be all the stuff you're gonna have to put up with.
Yeah.
I mean, if it is, whatever.
How
I'm not a perfect
selfish
person,
of them.
right?
But
when we do engage in these debates, please understand that those people are not after your guns because they want to be mean to you. They just want less children's bodies stacking up and shit. They want to keep holes out of innocent people.
I don't think I've ever really seen. I mean, there's of course a couple that have been like, yeah, let's take people's guns. But but that's just those couple people. I think the majority of them are like, we just want to make it harder for people. Which the solution is just like it's such a touchy thing every which way you look at it, and there's just. But like you said, the core of it, everybody on all sides, nobody wants this shit to happen anymore. You know, of course,
right?
But I don't see how making it harder for somebody who might have issues, you know, like domestic violence pasts, you know, and then they're like, well, you know, there's a lot of people that are accused of domestic violence that never ever fucking did it, and now I can't get a gun. And it's like, well, how did she wind up with those bruises and shit then if you know?
Well, that's a fucking paper tiger argument, because that's not the way it works. You don't get accused of domestic violence and then you can't have a gun. No, you get convicted of a domestic violence thing. And I'm just going to venture a guess here that I think that there are far more people who commit a crime of domestic violence and don't get committed of it than there are who commit a domestic violence crime or do not commit a domestic violence crime and get convicted of it.
Right.
I'm just thinking that the scale is probably weighted one way.
And, you know, but one of the things you hear, even when you manage to have like a semi-civil, like, you know, debate about the subject, is, well, if you give them an inch, they'll take a mile. You know, you can't give up any ground on these laws. You know what? Fucking really? Because what if you give up a little ground, and what if it only saves, like, how many kids? Like, what's the cutoff? You know, like, if you give up a little ground on something, and it becomes like a little bit harder, you know, for somebody with this background or these problems to get their hands on a weapon like this.
Even just one guy.
Yeah. I mean, what if it only saves one kid? Do you feel like you got fucked over?
The thing is that it is a very wicked problem, and there isn't any solution that is apparent, right? I mean, magic wand this fucking situation. All right, I give you the magic wand, and you get to just correct the problem. What is it? I mean, like magic wand away all the guns in America? Is that gonna stop violence against children? It's definitely gonna slow it, right? As Tharg said, it's far harder to do a mass killing with a fucking baseball bat than it is with a bump stock. You know, it really is. But that's also not a solution that is realistic. It's not even something that can really be done at this point. Even if we stopped the sale of all guns from this point forward, there's millions and millions of guns in this country. It's a really, really tough problem. The problem that I have with it, first of all, is, as you said, you know, oh, I'm so sorry that somebody is going to talk about gun control. You're the victim. That's A. But B is that, like, we're taking the focus off of, like, what? Like, everybody just jumps into their fucking tribe. The problem is that those beliefs, like, I'm a pro-gun guy. Okay, that is not a, and I am a pro-gun guy. I mean, I own a gun. I have a permit to carry. I own several guns and whatever. But when you have that belief as, like, your core belief, it becomes like a religious belief almost. And if you are a religious person, and I'm not saying anything bad about being a religious person, but if you're a religious person who believes in their core of their being that Jesus Christ was the Son of God and died for the sins of man, there is no amount of evidence that I could present to you, and I don't want to, but there is no amount of evidence that I could present to you that could change your belief. There's no amount of scientific discovery that's going to change that. If you believe that the world is only 10,000 years old and Jesus and dinosaurs walked at the same time, now I'm actually being a little flippant and I was trying to be serious, but there's nothing I can do to prove otherwise, because it's not a stance, it's a fucking belief. And beliefs are impervious to facts.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
And wonderful. Have your belief about your religion and about your God and about your faith. Have it. Love it. Do it. But when you have a belief about a fucking political issue,
Yeah.
now it's no longer sane. We've taken it out of the realm of sanity, and it fucking sucks. And I just hate politics. I hate the whole thing. It makes my guts hurt. But it sucks ass that this tragedy has to become a another fucking political football.
Right out of
it's
the
just gonna we're just gonna tribe
Because
up,
it's
man.
not-
Let's just tribe up and fight,
Yeah.
or we should just do that.
Yeah, it shouldn't be political at all. We're all exactly in the same thing. I don't care who you are. None of us want this shit fucking happening.
Yeah. And then like how to get there, well, there's that debate. But
Right.
man, there's so many things that take away from the debate that fucking stop the debate like dead in its tracks.
Just that
And
you
it's
guys
fucking
each know, like
super
you could be
prevalent.
talking with somebody who you each know, like you're on that side of the, and that's the way people look at it. You're on that side, I'm on this side, and that's it. And I need to be fucking right.
Right.
Yeah, which puts people like us like, whoa, what if I don't have what if I don't have a side? Like for the things that I've said on here, I'm already a fucking gun grabber, to a lot of people.
Right.
But then,
How could that be?
the people on the left, they're probably like, well, fuck, thanks for nothing, Kyle.
Right.
Hey,
Right,
man.
right. Because
Sorry, I'm not gonna fucking.
And we were talking specifically about people who believe that that are gun rights activists, like it becomes a core belief. But that is it's exactly the same on the left, where people believe that we absolutely need to get rid of all guns, and that's a core belief, or the other
But
issue that you can talk
Is
about.
it though?
Okay, here's one that is for sure just abortion, the abortion issue, right? But one side believes that women have the right to choose what they do with their body, okay? And the other side believes that life begins at conception and you can't kill a unborn baby, okay? Both are valid beliefs, but once they're beliefs and not like all fucking argument goes out the door. Well, you can't middle ground that. There is no middle ground.
Yep.
Like, how do you middle ground it? Like,
Yeah, the
life
closest
begins
thing
at
to middle
conception?
ground. Yeah, basically, like at what point you can like abort a fetus and stuff is the closest thing to middle ground, and that's not middle ground.
And that's conception on from one side,
Yeah.
and on the other side, it's like I, am fairly famous saying that I think I'm so pro-choice that like I feel like we should be able to abort up to about 5, like the age of
I was thinking 17.
Well, I was thinking about once it becomes sapient, then like if they can recognize themselves in the mirror, then it gets a little iffy, right? But regardless, when you have a belief, it really does make it difficult. And that shit makes me sad, man. Makes me sad.
Well, it's really weird because, and it's exactly like that. I mean, some things, and I kind of see it on both sides too, where it's kind of like you seriously just believe that. It's like how do you? Okay, did you ever see, you just reality things you try and tell them, and a lot of times after and it doesn't matter which side you're talking to, because I feel like I'm a little bit this way and a little bit that way on other things, and sometimes a lot this way. But either way, a lot of people, when they have their hardcore belief in something, and then you you just keep going, okay, this is the fact of it though. This is the reality of it though. They finally just go, well, I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care. The thing is I don't care. And
But I think most people are like you. Like you believe, or you have a mixture, right, of different things. I mean, I'm definitely a mixture of different things. And I think that's most of us. The problem is that the world doesn't get driven by the middle. Because the middle can't drive.
You know, and that's one of the things, like when I talk about like the horrible arguments, you know, on the pro gun side of things, it's not like there's not plenty of good solid arguments and smart people. You know, it's just that the dummies shout over them, and they're the fucking ones that, you know, like say, like the fucking, like the one we keep getting back to, like the easiest. But the definitely dumbest that I could think of is well, if they didn't use that, they just used something else. Well, then fucking let them. Why does their goddamn first choice have to be like the thing that they, I mean, for fuck's sake, that's a horrible argument. You know, like, well, they just make a bomb. Well, let them make a bomb, because that's fucking harder. You know, like that's way harder. Oh, well, making a bomb's easy. Yeah, making a, well, maybe easy for you. Like, why don't you give it a fucking try? Try it tonight. Do it blindfolded. Clean up the fucking gene pool. Like some of these arguments don't hold any water. They're fucking dumb. Sit down and let the fucking grown-ups talk, because it damages your cause when you're the screamy, angry, loud, stupid fuck. And I know a lot of smart guys that are definitely pro-gun. Let those motherfuckers talk. But no, your stupid ass is shouting over them. All right, it goes against your best interests.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's just it's a problem, like just the way our country has become. And it's really, and it hasn't been just since like Trump. It was, you know, yeah, ever since.
We've been dumbing down for a long time.
Yeah, dumbing down. I mean, I don't even know, but like I even remember how fractured it became during the Clinton administration and so on and so forth. But it's like it really has become more tribal. But the problem is that like the middle can't drive, because you have the most. We're driven by the radical right and the radical left. And that's the only the only voices that get heard. And why do they get heard? Because they're fucking screaming at the top of their lungs.
Because they're loud dummies. And I feel like I'm in Idiocracy sometimes. Like because that fucking movie is brilliant, by the way. And sometimes because I'm like I am a fucking man of like average intelligence, like at best. Anyway, I'm good at some stuff, whatever. But I'm a man of average intelligence. So if I look at this shit and I'm like, damn, you know, you're really fucking stupid, then you're probably really, really fucking stupid. Because I think I'm pretty realistic about shit. Like I said, average intelligence, you know, like, but a lot of this shit is like pretty clear to me, and it's also like the same
even
kind of shit we're talking about.
Can do it.
Right. Unfrozen caveman lawyer. I am just a caveman.
Yeah.
But no, like the shit that I'm talking about, like I didn't just make some goddamn like anti-gun stand here. But if you feel like I did, that's probably about your crazy feelings, and not so much about like this about your argument. Because like I said, I know a lot of really smart pro-gun guys that can make their case. Very well, and they're very articulate, and they have very well thought out arguments.
And the thing is, I mean, when we were talking to Tharg, Tharg's like, you know,
one of the smartest
guys I know, and he's super pro gun, but also like is you know, realistic about it. But we always go back to like gun rights, and we're not talking about gun violence. I mean, like, we're not even working on trying to solve the problem. We're trying to solve the
mental health issues, and you know, the family issues, and the culture that you know.
I don't fucking get it though. What the fuck? How fucking wacky crazy do you gotta be to want to fucking go kill a bunch of kids?
And how many crazy people? I mean, crazy. That's kind of almost an ugly word sometimes. But like, how many of these people are out there? You know,
apparently
they just keep
a lot
popping
of them.
up, and damn, I don't know, man.
Yeah, it's horrible. It's horrible. The El Paso one, because there was one before that too, just a week before. Wasn't there one? There was. There was just one like.
It's hard to keep track, and that's fucking.
I found out about the fact that there was a school shooting today when I came in and we started talking about it with Kyle, because like I've been unplugged. Yeah, sorry, Meadow, wasn't paying attention to you or anything for the last couple of days. But like I don't look at Facebook. I don't read anything. I just kind of unplug and then I'll plug back in and yeah, I saw some little thing on Facebook today about school shootings in Trump, and I just like was like, no, homie, you don't want to watch. And then Kyle's like, yeah, I wanted to talk about the school shooting thing. I was like, fuck, there's another one. So it's like I just don't have any idea.
Yeah, it's just it's I don't know. It's just so weird how all of a sudden the rash is. That's the way it kind of happens. It feels like they.
Yeah, remember when we used to like know all their names and we keep track of them and shit, like all these, like Sandy Hook and stuff like that, like, and then after a certain point you stop remembering them, you stop and now like we're getting like desensitized to that shit. It's fucking horrible.
For sure. I don't know if it's, before I used to think it was kind of like just social media and stuff like that. It's like, well, we get our information so much fucking faster now. Well, this is shit that we probably didn't hear about before.
So there is an argument, and I'm by no means an expert on this, but there is an argument that actually that part of the reason that there is so much gun violence now is because there's so much coverage of gun violence now, and the coverage feeds the monster. Sure. Yeah. For example, in Canada, like Canada has more guns per capita than the United States, or as I think they do, or close. They have a shit pile of guns. Yep. And I mean, like, you're kind of like required to have a gun in Canada if you're going to go, because you might get fucking killed by a bear and shit.
Right. Gotta dispatch a moose. Whatever.
But they have fucking shit pile of guns, and like, and they don't have a lot of gun violence, and they also don't cover gun violence in their media. And it's not like it's well, I don't know if it's government control or whatever, but they just don't. I mean, they never talk. They never say the name of it. If somebody shoots somebody, they never say the name of the person. They totally downplay the. They totally unglorify. I
wonder if their news is more news and less entertainment news, like we do.
Well, I think it's partially that. Also, it's a little bit more government controlled, like because it's Canada. They have whatever. And I don't know. By no means an expert, but there is an argument to say that because we have this 24-hour news cycle and like the amount of coverage is that it's kind of like the fucking like the serpent eating its own tail kind of deal in it.
Well, these guys also have their whatever manifesto things and stuff that they write up and stuff like that, and they tell you their reasoning, and then that gets out to everybody. I mean, there was one for this guy for that.
Yeah,
and
the
El Paso guy.
El Paso guy, yeah.
And then it's put out there for everybody to read. So now the guy's getting his total fucking point across that he.
So what if
he's trending?
What if we just took the whole subject of like gun control out of the picture, and we just tried to pass some legislation that said we as a nation, we don't believe in censorship, right? But we also agree as a nation to no longer have any coverage of gun violence as a nation, and we're going to try it for 2 years, and then it's a sunset clause, and if it doesn't make a difference, fine. But if it does, so we're agreeing to censor ourselves for 2 years or 4 years or whatever, and let's just see what happens. And yes, these school shootings happens,
then
and
that'll get politicized.
Nobody gets to talk about it. It might get politicized, but what if it makes a difference? What if it's the difference between
which is what our focus should be at the end of the day? What if it makes a difference?
And what if it makes a difference? And also you don't have to give your fucking guns up for it, right? So everybody should get behind it, right? I mean, I don't know. The libertarians might have a problem with it because it's like it's control, it's governmental control. But really, is it? Because it's just if we all agree, like to just talk about it.
It's not hurting anything in a way by not doing it. I don't think it's.
Well, how can we make it fucking worse?
And here's where I have to give a nod to my friends on the right. I would say that if you said that you weren't going to like publicize it and weren't going to talk about it and shit like that, then there'd be a lot of liberals saying, "Well, great, that just plays right into the gun lobby's hands." No, there's no problem.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
but
saying?
what if the problem
But-
gets better?
Yeah, that's at the end of it. Like that should be our, that should be.
And-
regardless of what approach we take, we just want less fucking gun wounds.
And we're just spitballing here. That's not even a good idea. That's just an idea.
Yeah, this is
Right?
just what we do.
But
I mean,
it's like there's got to be some people out there that are smart, that are above average intelligence, who are trying to come up with something that might help, and it doesn't. I have not heard any fucking positive solutions put out there. So
well, I need to, for my part, I need to focus less on the dumb arguments and shit that I see like on Facebook and stuff. I just need to scroll past those. I mean, yeah, like they just stand out because that shit gives me like Forrest Whitaker eye and shit. Like I can't fucking fathom the stupidity of what I'm looking at. But I do have, I have access to some really, like my friend Jeremy Dahl's a very sharp guy. He's very well educated on the subject. I need to talk to him about this issue more. And I've got a lot of, like I said, I know a lot of smart dudes that are, that are well educated on this topic. And I just need to fucking talk to them and ignore, and ignore the screaming idiots. We all need to get to the, we all want to get to the same place on this. It's just a question of how to get there. But I mean, what are you willing to do? What are you willing to give up?
To me, that's the whole thing. And I had said something too. We had stricter, a little bit, gun laws for a while there. People with certain mental issues weren't able to get guns when they got, because there's always been background checks. I mean, for years now. If you buy a gun,
the Brady bill and stuff, and I think a lot of people forget that, like Ronald Reagan, like as much as he's the conservative icon and shit, people forget that Ronald Reagan, was eventually like not anti-gun, but anti like assault rifle and stuff. And if you don't believe, and you don't have to take my word for that shit, you can look at that shit up yourself.
No, I mean most people don't even understand how like the NRA got started. Most people by no means an expert, but most people don't realize that the NRA was actually started. I don't know about the NRA, but the gun rights movement was started by the Black Panthers, and it was a very much. You're looking at me like I have no idea what I'm talking about. Started by the Black Panthers, and actually and Ronald Reagan was one of the first people to.
When he was the governor of California.
When he was the governor of California to introduce gun restrictive legislation. Super interesting. There's a fucking wonderful podcast out there by I think it's Daniele Bolelli. It's called History on Fire, and he gets deep into it. Pretty sure that's the one. But regardless, look it up, man. It's a super interesting piece of our history, and it's really weird how the NRA has morphed into this national conglomerate of whatever. I mean, it
power.
And they're going broke too. It's super weird. Yeah, the NRA is going broke, and there's all this weird shit going on, but they still have just an amazing amount of control, and I don't know. It's a really complicated issue.
They're throwing a lot of money around.
I feel like we need to just fucking okay. I just accept the fact that we're probably never going to solve that fucking issue, right? But then again, like gun control, we're never going to solve gun control.
I would be okay with treating the symptoms as long as whatever, any one less death, is a step in the right direction. Especially,
I agree.
Motherfucker, these goddamn school shootings, man. I mean, that shit. Remember, I think I've told you about this before. I was at home. I was by myself. I'm on my computer. I got home from work and I was getting caught up on the Sandy Hook thing, man. And I am fucking sitting at my computer, I couldn't fucking see my screen anymore.
This is back when it originally happened.
Yeah, just crying, just bawling.
Especially in the schools, that's what to me is it's so when it's a bunch of kids, and I'm thinking about my own kids in school,
right, for sure,
cowering, running, freaking out.
And I haven't ruled out because I've talked to conservatives and shit that guards at schools and all this shit. Hey, I'm okay with those ideas too. I'm not.
That's what I'm saying. Fuck the issue of gun control. Let's address the issue of gun violence and school shootings, and let's put all the different possible options on the table. I am too not opposed to the idea of armed guards. I'm not opposed to the idea of training teachers to carry weapons. Sure. I'm not opposed to the idea of sending our fucking kids to school in body armor. I'm not opposed to making schools small, right, where you don't have like a massive amount of kids in one area. I'm not opposed to any idea that makes sense that actually may reduce this.
Man, I just had
have a conversation about it, and let's have a conversation about it that doesn't involve my tribe having a fucking fight with your tribe, because we're talking about the fucking lives of children here.
Yeah, I just had kind of I'm embarrassed. You know, like a lot of revelations, it seems really simple after I think of it. I'm sitting here talking about like hating to see this shit on Facebook, and like in social media and stuff. The loud dummies, you know, stealing the scenes and shit, you know, like and drawing everyone's attention. And I just realized that it's the same thing that goes on, you know, on a high level. You know, the politicians and stuff. You're reasonable people that could actually have a chance at solving this are not the fucking people that people pay attention to, because they're not firebrands. They're not exciting everybody. It's the loud shitheads on either side that don't really, you know, the least reasonable people on either side are the ones that are more inclined to get the headlines and stuff, because that's who we are as a people nowadays. So I mean, like when I'm thinking about smart, you know, when I'm just thinking about Facebook, I'm like, smarten up the argument on social media, maybe smarten up the whole argument overall, you know, and at levels where we can actually get shit done instead of just fucking Facebook, you know. Yeah, shit. That's.
Yeah, I'm really glad you brought this up. I feel like shit now.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm glad to help. On that note,
heavy drinking will commence shortly. What else do we have to talk about? Anything else? Anything you want to add, Ron?
Man, I'm glad I saved that for last.
Hey, Lola's playing.
Yeah, so
Lola is playing at Crosby coming up this Thursday for Music in the Park.
Oh, it's
cool.
Awesome.
There's
years.
Another band playing before us. They're called Shake 'Em Dirty. They're like they have some original stuff, and they're kind of cool rock. I don't know, thing too. They start at 5, and then we go on at 6:45. We're just doing covers.
Who's the lead singer of that band? Is it Jeff?
Jeff Mosey.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, yeah, Jeff Mosey. He's a kid who's been playing forever. He used to be in a band called shit. Do you remember?
He's really good.
Yeah, it was a little 3-piece punk band.
Yep.
And he had a, goddamn, I wish I could remember the name of it, but I loved it. They had this drummer that fucking dying right now with us. On the autistic spectrum, where you're really super smart. What's it called? Asperger's. He had Asperger's, and the dude was just a fucking amazing drummer. And then everyone in the show, Jeff would always like stop the show, and then like Santi was the kid's name. He'd ask Santi a crazy question, like about if his birthday is this and his birthday is this, how many days are in between and whatever. And Santi could like do this crazy math.
That's
super awesome. And the kid was an amazing fucking drummer. And then his sister, Jeff's sister, whose name I can't remember, she sang with them too, and they were just super, super fun. So that fucking kid's been playing forever, and I know that he's been working on this new band. So I'm excited to see that. That's this Thursday?
That's this Thursday in Crosby. They start at 5 o'clock, and bring the kids. It's like an outdoor family event fucking thing, you know.
Stoked to be on board.
I won't be saying the F word all the time.
Stoked beyond boredom.
I don't know. Yeah, and then.
But if Matt and I are there,
that's what it was.
Stoked beyond boredom.
Come see Matt and I for your F-bomb fix if that's what you need.
And then Lola is playing again in August. What is it? The 17th at the Cuyuna Crusher mountain biking thing.
Oh, okay, cool.
And that's the 17th. Yeah, I think. We play from 8 to 11.
Is it? Do you
5 to 8 or something? Gosh,
well, you have a Facebook page or something?
Yeah. Lola, it's on Facebook and everything. LOLAH.
Right
I don't know. Otherwise, that's the things we got coming up.
Cool. So next Sunday, we haven't figured out a guest yet, right?
No. I kind of did, but that didn't work out. I booked a guest, and I didn't really let them know.
Oh, that happens.
That sort of thing happens.
That's fun.
And then the following Sunday, we are having Troy Schreifels on.
Cool.
And that's going to be that's following Sunday,
we've
right?
got,
The 20.
or
what's
so there's
date?
next Sunday.
I don't know
is
what
the
I
10th,
don't know
believe.
dates.
And then
Yeah,
was
you're
it
right.
the 17th? We're going to go on location over to Red at Night
that's
Tattoo
right.
and Piercings.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that'd be
Nice.
sweet.
Yeah.
And then in the following weekend, we have Troy. So we have a lot of shows coming up, and it's going to be super fun.
I appreciate you guys having me on.
Yeah.
Like I said,
Hey,
I mean,
Ron,
I'm
it
a
was been
fan of
great.
the show, so I mean, it was
Yeah.
nice to meet you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm glad
thanks so
that
much.
we were able to have you on.
Yeah,
Super
for
awesome.
sure. It's
Really
been
good
fun.
time.
Super awesome. Okay, well, we will see you guys next time. We're going to take you out today with a song by a band that I just love. That they've been playing
shit.
with me. Fucking jump on in, Kyle. Just
Sorry.
Jesus Christ, this show.
Hey.
I have to piss so bad.
Man, well, just because we haven't done one of these today yet, like what are you watching? Amazon Prime, The Boys.
Really?
Their superhero show. It's not. This is not a superhero show for your kids. Okay, this is the grown-up superhero show.
I heard a little bit about
I've heard
it.
about it too.
It's pretty fucking brilliant. Carl Urban, I've got a ridiculous man crush on Carl Urban, but it's fucking awesome. It's a great show.
The Boys.
You know, it might not be Altered Carbon awesome, but it's pretty damn good.
Altered Carbon was
And if
good.
you want a grown-up take on superheroes and what they would be like in the real world, check it out.
Oh,
Sorry.
I know who I was talking to that about. No, we're going on a rabbit hole now. I was talking to Tharg about it, actually. And he was telling me about it, and it seems like it's based on the Wild Card series that George R.R. Martin, wrote for, but then also edited, was the editor for it. But that was kind of the premise of that. It was like superheroes are kind of fucking dicks, you know? And
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting.
Tharg, by the way, Tharg and Sam, are they at Gen Con right now?
Yeah, they're at Gen Con. I think they're still there, yeah.
They better get some cool videos or something like that, something to share with us on the show here.
They're going to be our field correspondents.
Yes.
That's cool.
Which I love the idea of.
Yeah, that's a really good idea. I like
Yeah,
that.
field correspondents?
I like a lot of the cool ideas that you guys have. I think you should have a little peanut gallery back here talking shit about stuff.
We're
we don't
definitely
know.
going to do a
Yeah,
live one.
that's-
We're just trying to figure out a venue. This is too small, but maybe we would do it here.
No, why
we
not?
could-
No, I mean, just a
Five
handful
half
of
a
people.
dozen.
4 people.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it'd be nice to do it in front of a big crowd and then have people come up and be able to ask questions and shit. But we
Right.
haven't quite figured it out yet. But
Yeah,
we'll do
yeah.
it. Okay, so we're going to take you out today with a song by a band that I just love. They're called The Social Animals, and they have played for me throughout the years. There's this kid in the band. His name's Tony Peterson. I just love him. He's been playing since he was 16 years old at the Eclectic Cafe, and he's gone through a bunch of different bands. And this one is fantastic. He
They're
plays
from here?
No, they're actually from Carlton, Minnesota, and then
okay, yeah.
but these guys have I don't want to say made it. I mean, who makes it? But they're touring nationally now
Bon Jovi.
and doing just great. And their lead singer is a kid named Dietrich Clark,
Nationally touring.
who Dietrich Clark, who's got these just huge, luscious like Mick Jagger lips.
Of course he does.
And
What other cool shit do they do? I'm just kidding.
They're fucking awesome. So check them out. They're called the
Humongous.
Social Animals. I haven't seen his dick, but I'll ask him next time I see him. I mean,
To see it or about it?
no, just ask him to see it. Just pull it out. Dietrich Clark and the Social Animals, and this is their song "Cold." We'll see you guys next time.
Thank you.
In a cold town by the shore, like a ghost in the air. And to the left, there's a boy in the park with black frozen hair. And the road I know every day. And the road, why should I stay? You might be cold, but I don't mind coming back to you. And I wake in the morning with the itch to believe it every single day. To hop to the wheel and drive into the city, but I know how to run away. Oh, I wake in the morning with the itch to believe in every single day. To hop to the wheel and drive into the city, but I know how to run away. Oh, I wake in the morning with the itch to believe in every single day. Every day. To hop to the wheel and drive into the city, but I know how to run away. I get cold sometimes still in the morning, all with the itch to believe in every single day. Every day. To hop to the wheel and drive into the city, but I know how to run away. Oh, to run away. I wake in the morning with the itch to believe in every single day. Every day. To hop to the wheel and drive into the city.